Can't believe I'm regretting not watching more isekai anime. How the heck do I get back to the real world? Oh.
In the year of our Lord, 1442, the Turkish Sultan enslaved 1,000 Transylvanian boys to fill the ranks of his army. These child slaves were beaten without mercy, trained to kill without conscience, to crave the blood of all who defied the Turks.
I would have my 1,000 boys. And one more. Your son will be raised under my roof. I'll find a way.
Through the forest, bodies move slow, tread claws with them, feet sinks into snow, hands pull us under. What you have done, they fear, they fear, the vast unknown. The way back closed, the skies above dark, our minds remain scared, we calm our hearts, fear won't blind us. They know what you have done. They fear, they fear the vast unknown. The truth was spoken, the words were said, our names are heard, signs sprayed on walls, a message has been spread. Nothing is left unsaid. What you have done, they see.
Welcome to the Monkey Show. And as much as I would like not to lose my shit right now, but I am mad. I am so friggin' mad. I mean, we've been running our campaign for about a month, right? It ends today in about an hour, 2 hours or something. And you know what I wake up to just about an hour ago? Well, I think it's about an hour ago I woke up. It was, yeah, it was about an hour ago. Is this. Suspense. Funding suspended. Funding for this project was suspended by Kickstarter about 9 hours ago. I'm like, so usually when we do the live streams, I get up an hour before, so I'm freshly, I get rested and happy and relaxed. Go grab a shower, put on a coffee. When I come on, I feel really, on it. But the last half an hour, 45 minutes, I've just been like going, what the hell happened to this thing? And why did people say what they said about my campaign? Because I knew there was something weird going on with this campaign, right? There was like, it was just the people that like at the start were backing it would drop out about 24 hours later, right? They were just like, nobody would think. And I know people who backed it because, my collaborator, right? So my distributor, my publisher out in America, Rises and Comics, great people, right? Been with them for a long time. Basically, have been like reading the, replying to questions and, whatever. So I've left that to them because, I'm doing everything else because, I got about 6 other right now I'm working, we got 6 titles we are working on, right? So it's not like I can just answer every email, even though I look at it and go, oh yeah, okay, this seems okay, this seems sus. But we get like people emailing like they are friends every single day. Like, some people like every single day are emailing us. Like, I'm like, dude, we don't even know you, and you're not even like, we don't even know if you're going to be backing this project. But this is something weird going on. It's like we have people coming into my DMs, like they're my friends, and talking about, oh, how's it going? And next thing you know, realize that they're freaking like some Fiverr or some freaking, it's just weird. It just got weird, and they were the only people that were interested. Like, and there was, so what they say is that, I'll get to what they say because I found it really offensive as a human being, right? Because look at my face, right? My face is mad. Can I make that? Like, I spent like a whole friggin' night the other week, sorting the shit out, like making sure that we look a bit more professional, right? Got this background and everything here, so that people can, so when you come in here, it looks like it's really cool. But and also different profile photos. So depending on where I go, what channel I go on to speak or what's live stream, whatever. So when you wake up to something like, oh, 9 hours ago, and it's like 2 hours left on your campaign, you go, well, hey, why is this? Why did this happen to me, man? Like, what's going on? Let me check my emails because normally, you just go through the, you do your thing. Because as much as I love the creative side of comics, the writing, developing worlds. I mean, like, our Plunge universe is huge. Like, seriously, there's so many characters in it. And like, you can join our Discord, man. Like, if you want to see what we're doing, just join our Discord. And I didn't realize that, like, about Discord, that the friggin' invites expire, so you can't have the same invite. So I'm like, oh, is that why? Because I had somebody go, oh, I can't get in. I was like, what do you mean? You know, come pop in, right? And so I said, oh, I realize now it's friggin' they changed the thing. But that's how new and newbie I am, and noob, right, to this whole Discord thing. Anyway, so every day I put up some stuff in the Discord to show like what we're doing, you know, what character design's going on, what world building we're doing, you know, and so that way you know people coming in can see what titles we're working on, right? Let me just change this for a minute because that just depresses me just looking at it. So we got this. So in our Discord, right? So you know, share the links. I share other people's links, right? So that people can come in and see what somebody else is streaming if I'm not streaming or somebody else is doing. So we even got a link for artists that can share their work. People come and go, oh, I'm an artist. Can I share my work? Yeah, put it under there. So this is one of the projects we're working on, Robot Nations. I'm actually trying to figure out whether this should be the next one going out or as a campaign because it's finished. I just got oh hell, excuse me. I just got something in my eye. This is going to destroy me. Give me 1 second. Let me just take a break here quickly, guys. Put something on. All right, let's do that.
Everyone I know is gonna die.
Not my fucking problem.
Is that all you got? Is that what you said when your world went to shit?
Come again.
Yeah, I heard all about you. And you screwed up everything. They should be thanking me for pulling you out of that bed you shit in. Oh, you backstabbing son of a bitch! Are you ready to be calm now?
تكنولوجيا عشان انها تكنولوجيا
What?
What? Yo, what's up, man? You're just as mad as me?
Probably.
Yeah. So, did you catch any of what was going on? Well, I mean, what I was talking about, like, but the Kickstarter being suspended to like 9 hours ago, which is like about 11 hours before ending.
No, your Kickstarter got what?
Yeah, it got suspended, bro.
For what?
I was waiting for it to come up, and I was gonna talk about it in a minute. So, let me just introduce my co-host here. Hey, what do you think of the new setup here? Can you see the screen?
Yeah, I can see the screen.
Yeah, so I spent some time after last stream, just actually four hours or something, making new setups and everything so it could look really cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
All right. So without saying, how was your weekend? Week?
Week. Oh,
right.
It's been fine. I had to make some adjustments. The art is pretty much considered done for Melvin 4.
Yeah.
Sid's got some stuff to take care of, so instead of 44 pages, it's going to be 37. So hopefully he'll get better with that, with what he's dealing with.
Yeah.
And so that just leaves lettering to do.
All right, guys. So if you're just watching, if you're watching, I put into the chat a link for the Freak Incredigo #1 comic book we released about 3 years ago, maybe less. And we got #1, #2 is coming out soon on Kickstarter. It's an all ages comic book, right? So nothing mature or anything like that. You can read it with your kids, bedtime story type thing. So that's there. Now,
What exactly got your account thing suspended? This is the first. This is like the first time I've heard about it.
Okay. All right, let's go there. Let's go there. I was like, I don't really want to do it, but let's go there.
All right, let's go there, because I mean, it's like I was like, well, I mean, I don't know if you. Kickstarter has a lot of what they call bad girl comics in it, so I don't understand.
No, this. Well, I think it was mass flagged, right?
By who?
By a certain group. I feel like it's that, and I might be 100% wrong about it, and I'd be okay if I'm wrong about it.
Yeah.
But the tone of it goes against everything what my comics are, right? So because I'm building a world, like, why, it feels like they're saying here that, like, how do I get rid of this? Hold on. Let me get grab this.
Doesn't your stuff have to be okayed by Kickstarter?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any. Why would they all of a sudden suspend it if they're the ones that okayed it in the first place?
Because this is why I think it's misreporting, right? So let me get my grok up and get my grok to come out of there.
Get your grok up. Get your
Yeah,
grok on, y'all. How long have you been? How long? You've been on for? How long? How much did I miss?
I've only just come on, 15 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I was like, I was literally doing something and I just like realized, oh crap.
Yeah. Usually I give you half an hour notice, but I was like, reminder. But basically, what happened was like I've got caught off guard by this, because I was opening up the Kickstarter to go, okay, got to have all these links open so I can see, what we got prepared for today. And I don't know, man. And when I saw it, I was like, it just shook me. I was like, this is not cool. Like, this is not cool.
So
and I'm like,
how long ago did it get suspended?
9 hours ago while I was sleeping.
9 hours ago. So you were asleep the whole time and for a good like 8 or 9 hours sleep.
Oh, no, less than that. I went to bed probably about, I don't know, 6 hours ago, something like that.
Right. Okay. So
Okay.
I'll let you do the talking, man.
No, yeah. So I woke up about an hour and a half ago, right? And so I was usually I get up, I take my meds, calm my body down. It takes about half an hour for my body to, get back to normal because, when you're sleeping, you're moving a lot. And so awkwardly, whatever. And then, because I suffer from chronic pain due to car injury, and neck injury, back, spine and neck injury. So it takes about half an hour to, recover. And then I'll go and have a shower, make coffee and come and chill, right? However, 15 minutes in, I just put on YouTube and chill out, right? During that time. So, okay, I've got to get my links ready and all that. So I go and do this. And next thing I know is like, wait, what did I just see there? What is this? Is this for real? I'm like, what is all this about? And then I see this, I'm like, oh yeah. And because I see this thing, it's like, oh, this. I'm like, and then I go down and it says 9 hours. It's 10 hours now, right? And I'm like, wait. See here, even like it's like because it's suspended, you can't even do anything, right? So I started, I went and checked the email. Email says, this reason, and I'm going, okay, let's answer that. So I go to answer it, and I'm like, oh, I'm running out of time here, so I can't really spend too much time doing this. So whatever, my response was I copy pasted, saved it, because I got to get ready for stream, because I know you're coming on, sent the links out. See, I didn't even get the link sent out until like about 10 minutes before going out, coming live. So let's see. Like, this was their response, right? Like, so let me see if I can get if this will work. Hold on. This one before it. Come here. If Grok will read it out for me. I won't read that. Okay, screw it. So here's what they say, right? This message is from Kickstarter Trust and Safety. Okay, trust and safety. We're going to let you know that recent activity on your project triggered a review, right? Which means that it's somebody's been reporting it, right? I mean, I'm not an expert about, crowdfunding or anything like that, but when somebody says there's been recent activity on there, it means that someone's been reporting it, because there's no recent activity from me on there, right?
Right. It's not that there's nothing set up by it's not something like a tier or something else that's triggered some suspicion, right?
No, because even with the artwork, right? I wanted to make sure that we didn't have anything, sexual, because the tortoise, right? It has some nudity in it, because due to the fact that it's a horror comic book made for mature readers, right? They even made me say, well, you got to put in R18 in there. And I'm like, okay, I'm okay with that. Okay, if that's what you think. Even though it's it's an M15, what I would consider, maybe I don't know, M16. You're 16 years old. I mean, there's stuff that people watch on TV.
Is that a system in your country? Because I know that.
Yeah, M15 is it's a mature reader type age in our country. We don't have an NC-17. We have an R18, right? Okay,
because I think in States it's E for everyone, T
right,
15, and then it was kind of like PG-13ish. It'd be rated teen plus.
Well, our one's just like G, GA, general audience, PG, PG-13, M, which is 15, so it's got nudity and violence, but not explicit nudity or violence. And then it's R18 would be explicit nudity and violence, which we're kind of close to that, but we don't. It's more a horror movie, right? It's like watching The Green Inferno, which is kind of like what I described it as. Plus, it's that hostage type situation, the hostage movie, that kind of Saw elements. And so it is a very, it's freaking manga. So we're not trying to give you graphic gore violence in what we're doing with it, because it's not graphic as graphic art, right? It's not taking anything away from manga. I'm just saying it's the way that we did it with the work. It wasn't meant to be, glorifying either sex or violence. It's just a story about two girls out of the elements, like fish out of water, right? And so, we've had let me see, Webtoons actually, removed a couple of the pages, even though we blacked out breasts and, nipple slips, whatever you want to call it, or backsides, butts, whatever, on the girls or whoever, because it is about two couples, right? It's about a couple, right? A female couple. And so they're fish out of water, they're going overseas adventure, and, they're normal people, right? They're just normal people. They're actually quite important to us, to our overall universe of Plunge Universe, right? They're very, let me see, I'm on the wrong page here. So they are quite important, they're agents in our special Plunge Universe, right? Because I'm a bit flustered here, right? So I apologize, guys. It really took me off my game. Usually I like to be, like I said, on my game and stuff. So, I Otherwise, I don't stream. Like yesterday, I was like, had work to do, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, I got work to do. I can't stream if I've got work to do. So there's no point being half-assed at this. But I feel like I'm half-assing this. So, you know, you've got Amber here, right? She's 22, I think, 21. And so, you know, her teacher's aide, Kirsten, right? You know, they fall in love in the first issue. It's a period of about a couple of years. And it's basically the story is about Amber, right? From her childhood to her adulthood, how she meets Kirsten. It's not overly graphic, you know, or explicitly sexual or something like that. It's just a, you know, a normal kind of girl meets girl kind of, you know, story. And then they decide to go overseas. It moves quite fast or slow, depending, you know, what the places, you know, things are happening. So they go overseas and in search of they realize, right, Amber finds a friggin' book, and in the book that says like there is a myth about turtles, and she's very much in love with her turtle that she's had since, you know, not love, right? But, you know, this is what I call one of my strange love stories. I've got another one about mermaids that's going to be coming out. This one's about a turtle, right? It's a pet. So it's, you know, we've had really cool traction, right? I actually didn't realize that there's a comment section where people can reply, and I didn't even know that, like, you could actually go and respond to that. I'm all new with this, man. I'm like always busy working. But I actually found like people that replied to their own, right? This is the thing about, you know, like the term you say about meeting the, you know, to the Gentiles, right? People actually connected with the story about the turtles, right? The migration system, the birthing system, because I had a female and a male say, hey, yeah, you know, we used to hold out torches to help the little baby turtles see themselves, you know, go to the water, find themselves in the water at night when they, you know, during the hatching season. And another one said, yeah, I missed, you know, we used to see them all, you know, near our home or something like that. I could read it out to you guys, but I mean, you know, it might be, I think, you know, it's here somewhere. You know, I think it was this one. Because I checked in and I was like, well, I'm commenting. Is anybody commenting on this or what's going on? How's things going? But anyway, here we go. So, yeah, where I live. Look at this. JWA Beasley says, where I live. This is last year, like last October. And I've only just responded because, like, I didn't even know you know, there was these comments were here. Because I've just been, like I said, all over the place, busy. And by the way, join the Discord while this code works, because I only just realized today, last couple of days ago, that codes change, they expire. So he goes, maybe he, she, but it sounds like a dude the way it's written. Where I live, we have reduced streetlights to help. Reduced streetlights to help the turtles get out to sea. We had a bunch of baby turtles get washed onto shore due to the recent storms. Fortunately, the zoos were able to take them and get them the help they need. Right? So people are connecting with the turtle story. You know, sorry by the way it looks, because it's supposed to be read on a mobile, not on a friggin' computer screen. So this is the only thing that I could think of. It is supernatural horror. You know, it does say here this, you know, this is, you know, we set the ratings, R18. Kickstarter set the ratings, R18. I said, okay, I'm happy with that. Okay, I'm not gonna, like, you know, mess with you guys saying that, well, we can't have you on your platform because you won't agree to our ratings. But yeah, well, you know, I'm okay with the ratings. So I would say, like, yeah, we got a mature reader comic book, R18, and a, you know, Western manga, right? And then we also have, you know, which is this one here. We did not put any freaking explicit stuff up to show, yeah, this is what you will get if, you know, because the book isn't about titillation, right? You know, so the only page I put up was this, just to show this is the way the art would look. And then, you know, talk about like Amber's journey takes her through a vibe. Hold on, let me just read you about this because, you know, I was going to be closing out because I know we weren't going to get funded because of like something weird was going on, and of course it was. People were misflagging our campaign, right? Have been misflagging our campaign for a while. I knew something weird was going on because of behavior of the campaign. The only people who were actually backing us is people I know, right? And that was weird because, like, not even like you. I mean, the fact that we got digital, you know, digital comics for $4 each US, right? And it's 40 pages for the first book for the manga, and 36. I think it's 44. 20 pages.
Question.
Yeah.
Did you go on anybody's stream that was like pro CG?
No, but I mean, like, that's what I think it is. I think it's that CG's people find out that I wasn't a pro CGer, you know, and so therefore, like, oh, you know, let's flag, because I think there was some of that. I think it had to do with Twitter, if anything, right?
Right. I mean, because, like, you know, they know exactly who shows up on Raptor's stream.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I already found out I'm blocked by Shane Davis.
Yeah, me. I think EVS blocked me. So, but like, here's the thing, right? I noticed, like, early on, I noticed that something weird was going on because it's like, well, anybody's not even buying the friggin' digital because it's only $4. Like, you know,
Right.
Usually if I can't, you know, if I'm worried about the freight, I'll get the, you know, I'll get the digital.
Are you going to try to put it on Fund My Comic?
I don't know. Like, I'm gonna, like, I've got to almost finish my letter writing, you know, review letter to see why, and because, like, look, what they're saying here, right, doesn't make sense about the story. It's like nowhere in the first issue is what they say it is, and which is really what pisses me off because these characters are not, you know, they're important characters. They're part of, like, they're both agents. They're not like throwaway characters that I can just go, oh yeah, kill them off, and that's done in the second episode, right? Oh, and these are important characters because there's a whole. The reason I've put this book out first because it sets up the universe, the human side of things, right? Because these two characters aren't like superpowered. They aren't like special. You know, don't have any special abilities. They're just two human beings. Whereas when you look at the other story, right, which is Howler, which is why I wanted to do these two stories, it shows you that. Let me get the screen here. Yeah, it shows you that with Howler, that there are different characters in this universe, which is like these monsters. They have special, you know, powers, right? They can change and so on. And so with that in mind, I was like, well, let's do that human element story with just normal people in the Plunge universe, and then do the fantastical side, you know, with the creatures, monsters, and, you know, mom and son on the run from these monsters, right? And from her past. So you got normal people, and on the other side, you got this. And so that way I could start off the universe showing, you know, especially with this mature side, because, you know, because the all ages comic book, which you can basically get for free right now, right? From my Google Drive. I had it for free on our Discord, so you can also get the link from there. So under Critical, and that way you can read it beforehand. You know, see if you like it or not. And because it's an all ages, full color, 36 pages, and we're releasing issue 2 soon, and that'll be released on the Rising Sun comic site because Kickstarter page, because it's a all ages book. And the reason we did under, you know, we brought these other books under Plunge is because here I can, you know, I want to be able to expand the universe in the more mature teen plus range, right? And so, and the other thing is, Howler is like a teen plus book, PG-13, right? it's not a graphic, violent, gore book, even though, you know, we do have these monsters and stuff. I've tried to keep it kind of like a, yeah, 13, maybe 13, 14, not going to the, you know, like no nudity, no nothing, very clean, but, you know, a very, very cool story, right? It's a long story. It's going to be about 12 issues. We're already working on issue 2. So, but then and the other thing was I was really pissed off is like, they said, oh, it's marginalized this, marginalized that. And I'm like, why would somebody go out and do this when they've never even know what the stories are about, right? So that's why I thought it was very dodgy. So
wait, they said marginalized, even though like the Tortoise book, clearly the two main characters are lesbians.
Yeah. Fiancés, right? They're fiancés, right? They're in a relationship, right? So I'm like, I even say that, like, let me see, have I not said that on Kickstarter that like, let me just get this. Yeah, following our main character. Let me press out of that. I'll come back to that one in a second. And the other thing is, I don't treat. Look, man, these characters, like, I built them over years, right? They're not like something I'm just gonna like treat them with crass behavior, like, you know, like Marvel does with their characters, right? You know, these characters matter to me, and you know, I mean, the hell, like Amber, the story about Amber, right? Amber's a friend I used to have, right, years ago, like about like 96, 97. She actually used to go out with a friend of mine, Filipino friend of mine, and she was a cute European girl. And we still all, you know, what is that called? House together, or what, like room together, board together, right? I used to have a house and rent a house. I rented a house and we'd all hang out there. Anyway, so we're all students. Now, hold on, let me just grab. Yeah, so where are we? Here it goes. Sorry, a beautiful. Yeah, so a beautiful Western style thing. Blah blah blah. Okay. Follow Amber and Kirsten as they chase a mysterious turtle legend from a hidden Asian tribe. Black and white art with emotional depth. Blah blah blah. Strange supernatural horror. Okay. Where did I want to go? I think it's over here. Yeah. Is this one? Yeah. So it goes. Following a main character, Amber, a 20 years plus who received a pet turtle. Why is that 2 A's? Damn it. A pet turtle as a child. Growing up, she continues this interest in a pet, which develops into an interest in marine biology. You know, they're not like dumb throwaway characters. These are like, I've really thought this through. You know, I spent years developing this story. Growing up, she continues this. Okay, which leads to blah blah, leading her to attend university, where she meets her now fiance Kirsten. Right, friggin' there, marginalized characters. What the hell, man? You know, so I know it's mess flagging, if anything. So we got, you know, brigaded on by a certain group. You know, and then goes like, this interest sets her on an adventure based on her research about a tribe called the WHAAAAT in Asia. Right, so they are in WHAAAAT. Carry on, bro.
Are there any messages in your comment section?
Oh, where do I see that? Messages? Is that where I see that?
Is there a comment section in your campaign or something that you can kind of check?
I don't see it.
Huh.
Yeah, so I went last week. This past couple of days ago, I went to check, right, and so I couldn't see that. I did an update, right, a couple of days ago, saying that I was on. I think I said I was on Lesbian's channel. Yeah, it was a guest on Lesbian's channel. Wasn't on his channel, right? So people could actually go and see it, see what I'm talking about and what these books are about, right? From my own mouth, you know. So yeah, I think, yeah, this is basically brigaded on, and I felt like it. I said to Hyper Wizard the other day, you know, I was on my way out. It was Wednesday for me in New Zealand, Tuesday for you guys. I was about half an hour before I had to leave. But his stream came up and was looking at the whole adult thing, and I said, well, I don't know if that's what's happening with our thing, but it just felt like there was something going on that was weird about our account. I mean, our channel. Our page, right? A campaign. And because nobody even wanted, outside of our friends, people I actually knew, even wanted to pick up a digital. I was like, well, you could actually try the digital and see maybe if $4 ain't going to kill you. It's about a coffee, right? And then later on, or even $7 if you buy both, that's about 76, around about 80 pages worth of art and story, right? And 2 comic books. So $7 is almost like about 10 cents. I can't do the math right now. But it just felt weird, dude. Not even a digital, right? I know who backed this digital. It's a friend of mine. So nobody else, no tip Joe, no nothing, and I thought this is weird because it just felt like it was getting pushed to the bottom. So somebody straight away was brigading against us. And to finally find out, yeah, somebody definitely was. And that maybe not just somebody, but a lot of somebody's maybe, or maybe, like you said, somebody saw me on Raptors. Well, I'm on Raptors thing every now and then,
Yeah.
And so, or I'm on Raptors. Yeah, Karen, sorry, bro.
That's all right. It's all good, man. They're keeping track though. They're writing down. I'm sure they have my name on there, but they can suck my nuts. But I think they write down names of who's on the stream, and I think they just possibly you were targeted because of that. No, nothing to back that up or any evidence, but
yeah. I mean, the thing is, look, here's what they said, right? We are writing to let you know that recent activity on your project triggered a review. There's nothing actually in the freaking campaign saying you're going to have all these whatever, right? There's a text on the, such and such. So here's what they're saying, right? Inappropriate content. There was nothing showing anything on there that was inappropriate. I only put 1 page of artwork on there because I was like, it just showed them just having a good time. That way you could see that these are a lesbian couple, that they are happy, that they're just normal people. And it goes here. So inappropriate content, including but not limited to explicit or pornographic. There's no fucking porn in this book. It's a horror movie thing turned into a manga. Right? And the other thing is hateful, offensive content that fails to meet Kickstarter's spirit of inclusivity by promoting discrimination, bigotry, and intolerance towards marginalized groups. The first book's got lesbians in it, who happen to be very important characters and now huge, right? Huge. The 2 main lesbian, gay, whatever you want to call it, characters in my entire universe, right? And they're human beings, Right. So they're not being treated like they're some sort of monsters or something. It's normal. 2 20-something, I want to say young because I'm freaking 53, right? 2 20-something girls, mature adults who are out on an overseas trip, run into some freaking crazy shit, and they got to deal with it. But they're also agents of a government body, and therefore, how the fuck do they get out of that is the most important thing, right? And that sort of goes forward into the Plunge universe. It kind of helps, lets me show readers what's to come, how the world is built up. I mean, I say some of the stuff about our Plunge universe and the different groups, in Critical number 1, which you can read for free here, right? All ages. Grab it off my Google Drive. And it's 36 pages, by the way. It's full color. Pretty cool. And so, yeah, bigotry. Okay, what am I bigoted against? Lesbians? By putting them in a book and treating them like human beings? Right? And intolerance towards marginalized groups. Okay, what? Indian? Maybe the female Indian in, girlfriend of Isaias from like the main character of Howler, right? I mean, seriously, it just feels like this isn't like the fact recent activity shows that somebody's been like, hitting that this is offensive, this is such and such, he's a bigot, he's intolerant to amongst groups, promotes discrimination, right? Has pornographic material. As a result, your project has been suspended. This means that all funding has been stopped and backers will not be charged for the pledges. Once again, project suspended. It cannot resume funding. No further action is required on your part. What do you mean? I can't say what the fuck's going on? Right? We can't comment on suspension beyond what is stated in this message. If you would like to know more about it, well, you don't even give me a chance to show my case. I mean, you just basically judge, jury, and think because some, and hangman just because someone decided to not like my views on their defrauding of backers, or my views on them being years late, or my views on the fact that they're actually out there harassing people, a black man. Tim, did you know that Eric July is black?
What? No. Really? I would have never known that.
I mean,
hey, is the
did
sky
you know?
blue?
Did you know I'm not white though?
What? No way.
Dude, look, I'm not white, bro.
What?
Holy shit, bro! I thought I was white all this time.
What?
It
I was
reminds me of.
I was certain you were a cracker.
It reminds me of that. Just now, it just reminded me of that. I know. Who's that? Dave Chappelle, right? He does that whole thing with the white supremacist who's blind, right? And he does that whole, I am, he goes, he says the N-word and stuff over and over again. Get that guy, right? Because he doesn't realize he's actually black himself, but he's blind since birth, so he's never seen, so he's hanging out with all the white, KKK people. That's one of the most humorous things ever. It's like, you're growing up not realizing what you are, right?
What about the jerk?
Yeah. The
Steve
jerk?
Martin? Yeah, like he thinks he's black. He goes, wait, what? I'm always going to be this color? Because then they have to tell him he's white.
It's an 80s movie, right? So I haven't seen it since the 80s.
Oh, I mean, like Channel 11, where I grew up, would show old movies and old TV shows all the time. So
yeah. So we did, like I said, man, I knew something weird was going on with our campaign from within about 2 days of our campaign being started. I was like, we're not even getting any traffic. We're not even seeing any movement at all outside of my friends and people, whose channels I've been on. And I haven't been on that many because, man, when you're a creator, and I'm, kind of like a one-man show, which I am kind of, and the other person with me is the artist and the cover artist and stuff. So I'm the one who's running around doing all the social media. I'm the one putting together the campaign. I'm the one, arranging, live streams and putting all the shit together out there, putting promotions out, setting up, channels and all that. And now just setting up our Discord. I'm going to plug our Discord again because I'm under attack. Send me money. That's been my joke for the last week since the Hambly thing. It's like, my channel's under attack. Now actually waking up and realizing that my campaign just got shut down. Yeah, my Kickstarter was under attack for an entire month. and has been review bombed. Is that what they call it? Like when you go in there and say, hey, this is a bad thing, this is a bad thing, this is a bad thing over and over again. It's review bombing, right? So someone basically went in over and over again and said that we had pornographic material, was explicit, inappropriate content over and over again on our channel, on our campaign. And not only that, they said it was hateful and offensive content that fails to meet Kickstarter's spirit of inclusivity by promoting discrimination, bigotry, or intolerance towards a marginalized group. You don't tell me which group, right? What was the bigotry? Nothing on our campaign put anything out that said that this is, what it is, right? Violence towards or whatever, or hateful, because that's not how I want my books to be. I want people to enjoy my books, not to feel like this group sucks, that group sucks, or they're this, or they're that, right? Because it took me a while to develop these characters to what they are, The other thing is I work for people from different backgrounds and countries and races. So it's not like I'm like, oh, I'm this and this, right? I'm a bigot, all right? I mean, like the artist on this is from Brazil, right? I mean, the series artist, right? The cover artist here is from Sweden. Now, the cover artist from America. The series artist is from Argentina, right? So, and not only that, I actually work with a Black American on his book right now, helping him. So these motherfuckers were out here saying that, oh, this guy's a bigot, this guy's this, and this guy's that. So, suspend this campaign. I'm like, you guys are that, and that's why you don't want these stories to get out, or don't want for me to succeed, because you guys are bigots, right? Because you guys have just showed your hand. And we're not 100% sure, but we know it's Comicsgate, right? 99.9% sure. It's all you Comicsgate people. Because, Tim said, you guys take our names if we're in Raptor's show. And the reason I'm pissed off at Comicsgate, so-called UCG, right, is because of this sort of shit.
Well, don't you think it's kind of personal now?
Yeah. So you're gonna get more shit from me now, right? You're gonna get war from me now.
Now I checked your campaign, and there's the only comment in the comment section of yours was like your initial comment. I didn't see anything. You might want to check X and see if there's anybody talking about it. Maybe.
Well, maybe, I don't know, because what I was actually going to talk about yesterday, which I didn't get, because I found out I had to get some contracts together for people wanting to work with us, NDAs and shit like that. So that's why I didn't do the show yesterday. I had things planned to do. But so what the show, what Much Ado About Nothing was going to be about, about people like this, right? Let me just bring this up. So I don't usually get involved with Twitter conversations or, commenting, apart from, on the Zero Monkey page, which is more like, Zero Monkey's more about, politics and shit. So I'd like to try to keep that side of thing away from, my comic creation. Don't even, I just like to post on there, then there's the links coming out and some art because it keeps it fresh, right? But while I was in conversation with because yesterday it was all about, on X, it was all about, this free comic page is down, this piracy comic page is down, website is down, so everybody's pissed off. I'm like, dude, when I first learned about Manga Studio X, which is now Clip Studio, it freaking blew my mind that I could actually create comics with this pirated software. And for about a decade and a half, I was using that until I was able to afford it. And then I bought I spent $500 for two different people to get their own copies of it, my nephew and one of my coworkers. artist friends. So outright bought it for them. That was 250, I think, New Zealand each, right? Which around about $150 US. About 300 US, right? 500 New Zealand at the time was like 300 US. And then I also, for the last, I guess 7 years, 8 years, I've been a monthly subscriber of Clip Studio Paint. So even though initially I didn't know how, because I couldn't afford it, right? But I was able to get a prior software. I was, when I was actually 8 years ago, whatever, 7 years ago, when I actually got back into comics, I went and bought it 3 times even. Like at this point, I've probably, being a monthly subscriber, I probably paid more for, I gave more money to as someone who actually used to pirate a software to now turning to actually buying it 3 times over. It's people who actually, regularly read comics online. There are 2 groups of them: those who actually will go out and buy it, and those who won't. Those who won't go to buy it will never go to buy a comic anyway, right? I mean, who read it will never, And there are those who just like want to catch up on, because they missed out on an issue or such, or whatever reason, right? I mean, all these sites are out there, and if you look at it with like everything, like we've got our. Before I go into this guy, we've got our comic book on Webtoons for 10 months now, right? And it's done really well for us, right? People, and I mean by well, I mean we've actually had good following compared to like not putting it up there, right? It takes me about 1.5 to 2 hours, give or take how much work do I do on the page to cut it up to make it into a Webtoons page, right, for mobile, depending, because I'm going to rearrange every single thing, right? Like every single panel has to move differently. Every single piece of art has been cut out, so it reads like, what it's going to read like on a mobile phone, right? So it's like you're seeing a panel at a time, whereas when you're looking at a page in a comic book, you see everything there. So there's no sort of like build up, no suspense, because you know who's going to throw the next page, next punch, right, in the next panel. And you can play around with that by like leaving, not putting that kind of building up and then doing it on the page that you turn over. And I kind of like sometimes do that. When I'm trying to build suspense, I won't write the story on that page. I like to show on that page. I'll show it on the next page over, which flips over. So I try to make sure that before when I write a script, I make sure that my title, all my pages are lined up in a way that it's kind of like the way it'll read in a comic book, right? So that I know where to put it, each piece of the dialogue and stuff, so narration, whatever. So there is actual suspense that builds up with that. Now, I think people who are like so friggin' there's a balance. There is a balance to the whole. There's a balance to the whole piracy and buyer thing, and there always will be, right? There was always going to be piracy. There's always going to be buyers. Now, I have shelves and shelves and shelves and shelves and containers full of comic books, physical, like graphic novels, mini series, volumes of trade paperbacks. But every now and then, I feel like, I'll just go read a comic for 5 minutes. And I don't go pick up my comic book on my shelf because I'll contain it up, even though I have it right like about 4 or 5 meters away from me. I'll just turn on I'll just go, okay, let's go to Webtoons. Or let's go to manga, whatever, right? But then I'll go and buy my physical manga. I'll go buy my physical thing. So there are people like me, and then there are people who just won't buy comics anyway because they can't afford to, or just they don't care. So there is that. Now, while I was doing that conversation to him, in that long conversation they had on Twitter yesterday, let me just show you what this whole argument that was going on, like on the PlungeComics page.
PlungeComics page.
Yeah, so yeah, that's where I have that sort of conversation, right? I don't bring that into the personal page, right? So check this out. So this was Ram V. Now Ram V is a is he an artist or a writer? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Actually, I'm on the wrong. Oh, let's get out of this one. Let's go to that one. Oh yeah. So yeah. Also, guys, go check out. Check out our. Excuse me, mumbling. Hold on. I am on X, as you know. We're on X, and so is Tim. And doesn't want to. Yeah. By the way, all our links are in the description, so grab that there. So let me show you. Yeah, switched over when I went over. Okay, hold on. So Ram V was talking about, there was three conversations yesterday, right? And one of this was like, it's a lie told to you that pirate reading is draining wealth from creators, right? There are more instances of fully employed artists, writers, ending careers with nothing to show for it. Your work being read online is a much smaller problem than predatory publishing practices, right?
Well, good luck trying to stop that.
Yeah, because it's got to do with all DC and Marvel in the top 5, right? Because they have treated, and mainly DC and Marvel, like TKO, they don't care about the actual people who read the product, right? And so here you've got like Nerdcat off the top of my head. These are some of the people fucked over by publishers. Some big names there: Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, the guys who created Superman, right? Bill Finger, guy who created Batman. Jack Kirby, who basically built the Marvel and DC universe.
Yeah, pretty much.
Steve Ditko, right? Yeah. Who basically made Spider-Man, right?
Well, he made it. He made him more popular. I can tell that. Yeah.
Joe Simon. I can't remember. I know that name, but I can't remember exactly what he did. John Buscema, Jill Kane. Jill Kane was with Batman as well, wasn't it? Gil Kane.
Yeah, but he's the one that took sole credit because the agreement was that Bill Finger had to be like a uncredited creator in the project, and he had full because he needed help coming up with a Batman character.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got Dick Ayers, never heard of. Don Heck, never. I kind of might have heard of Don Heck, but Gene Colan, know that name quite well. Can't remember what he did though, but I know that name. John Romero Jr., know his son's artwork. We were talking about his son's artwork yesterday on the. I was in the chat. I love his son's artwork. I know people don't, it's a touch and go with them, but I love indie style creative work, not just the same old friggin'. This is the Marvel way. The characters have to look like Jim Lee, right? Even though I love Jim Lee. But like, I don't want everything to look like Jim Lee, and I don't want everything to like Todd McFarlane.
Right.
John Buscema, Gary Frederick, Steve Gerber, and then my one, Alan Moore. He's been fighting with Jim Lee's the one who screwed him over with his top 10 books, all America's Best Comics. I think it was ABC he had put out there, and I've got them. I've got the top 10 comics, graphic novels, and hardcover because I'm a huge Alan Moore fan. Because I'm a writer, right? So I'm a writer's fan, and so whenever I would go to look for a book, it'll be like who's the writer on it, right? Not who's the artist, who's the writer on it. And so, you know, Garth Ennis, Alan Moore, but you've got Bendis for a point there. And then J. Michael Straczynski, JMS, who basically helped Shane Davis get a name out there, because without him working on Superman, right, I would not know who Shane Davis was.
I never knew who Shane Davis was until Comicsgate.
Oh yeah, I mean, I only knew the name. I mean, I don't know who he was. I just only knew the name because it was attached to friggin' the creator of Babylon 5, right?
No, I never knew who he was. That's the
All
first
right.
time I ever heard him was Comicsgate.
Yeah.
I never even heard of him. But apparently he's the breakout artist of 2009. You know, how long ago was that?
Yeah.
A few decades ago.
Yeah, you know what they always say? What have you done for me lately, right?
Yeah, you can't hold on to your past wins like it's something to be proud of in the present. It's like,
right.
Okay, that's what you did back then, but what about now?
So guys, I don't know if I tried to put an X link in there before, and it didn't work. I don't know why, because this is my page. I should be able to do what the hell I want, but it didn't work in there. Yeah. Oh, that one worked. So how come I couldn't find a freaking channel name in there? So anyway, PlungeComics is there. So this is a thread there. So you can read the rest of this, because I mean, there is that, but I want to. Yeah, so I actually was talking about this guy to do with what I'm going to bring up next. So, because I was like, he goes, "Oh, I'm so proud of I'm a backer and I'm going to, such and such." And so let me bring up this other one for a minute there. You carry on talking, but I'm just going to search for this link. Say your piece.
I have nothing to say. Oh God.
All right, let me find my book links. Okay, let's get rid of that off there. Okay, so this is what was a big, huge thing a couple of days ago on Wednesday, I think it was. Yeah, it's 3 days ago. Yeah, Wednesday. So is this today for me today? No, it's Friday for me today. Hold on. So this was the big conversation, right? I've been saying this for a while, but those who don't care or understand will say it was the biggest problem ever. The comic book industry's structure is dying. That and the pirate sites were mostly used to read older comics that can't be found or be. Fuck, am I reading it wrong? Can you read this, bro? I'm just not.
I've been saying this for a while now, but those who don't care or understand will say it was the biggest problem ever. The comic books industry structure is dying. That and the pirate sites were mostly used to read older comics that can't be found or too expensive.
Right. So he's trying to say, well, he's written it in a weird way. So he's basically saying
he meant to say used.
Yeah. So the comic
used.
Yeah. So there's two different things happening here. One, the comics industry structure is dying. That and the pirate sites were mostly used to read older comics that can't be found or to be expensive. Both true, right? If you're selling your physical comic in the US for $10, that's $14 New Zealand. Duvik is here.
That's okay. I'll Asmut. Your show puts me to sleep half the time.
Hell, Duvik, do you want to come on? If you do, just yeah, I'll send you a link in Discord. Be part of this conversation, because you've been around here longer. With both of you guys have the social media presence longer than I have, in the sense of the groups and all that historically. I just do
Come on up, Duck Boy. It's all love. Duck Boy.
So Max Power, I don't know this guy, but he comes buddy, comics will be dying for 30 years. They're still here and they're not going anywhere. Exactly. So parasites aren't the issue. Right? So if the comic books if the comic books are here and not going anywhere, then parasites aren't the issue. Because people who actually regularly read those pages, I mean those sites, aren't going to buy those comics anyway. They're just passing time, bro. You know, it's like webtoons. The thing about webtoons is that because it's a Korean site, Korean creators are able to get on there and test their scripts, their long TV show scripts on there as webcomics. And while they're doing that, they're out there talking, because these, I mean, like I've noticed this about a couple of, like, not all of them, but like if you look at the manhwa system on webtoons, right, which is $1 billion website, right? They have inroads and contracts with actual Korean studios, movie studios, TV studios. So if your work on there and you're from Korea gets popular, it's gonna sooner or later it's gonna end up as a K-drama, right? I think there was one called Golden Spoon or something that I was watching, and it was about a guy who, you know, who gosh, what is it? A Golden Spoon? Oh, yeah, it is the Golden Spoon. Here, let me show you. So this Golden Spoon series, right, showed up Disney. Right, Disney picked it up because, you know, it's manhwa from thing. But check this out: 2022, 16 episodes. I think I watched about 8 or something before I was like, is this the one? Yeah, I did. Why haven't I put the, like, I usually do a rating system. Maybe I'm just gonna be bothered. But I love this actor, right? This actor is one of my favorite actors. He's Korean actors. So I'll show you. This is actually a webtoon, right? What's his name? Yongsung Jay? Where are you? Yeah. Park Jun Park. He's one of my Kim. Why did I say it was Park? Just changed my name, right? Kim Kang Min, right? He's a pretty cool, handsome, young Korean dude. I'm not sure if that's him. Damn it. Anyway, one of them, whoever were the leaders, I can't remember. He was another one. So I liked his acting in that one, and then I moved over to, you know, to this because I saw him in this one. Not that I knew there was a manhwa, right? But because it was acting in. So here's the trailer for it.
넌 영원한 흑수저야 이 새끼야.
돈 없으면 애라도 낳지 말지. 우린 도대체 뭐하러 나왔냐고!
우리 집 빚이 자그마치 4억이야 4억. 걔 도심그룹 회장 아들이야. 금수저 중에 금수저지.
너하고 동갑이네 집에 가서 그 수저로 밥을 3번만 먹어. 걔 부모가 네 부모가 되는 거야.
그 수저를 항상 들고 다니나?
운명을 바꿔볼까 해서요.
So the story is about a kid and a family that are poor, right? Sung Jeon gets his hands on a magical spoon that allows him to switch lives with his rich best friend. Now he has to decide which of his 2 possible futures is worth keeping. Very cool story, right? It's one of like, if, right? That's that thing. You know, it's a story to.
You know what I thought it was about? Mm-hmm. I thought it was about eating soup. I was wrong.
That too. So now, if you go to the Golden Spoon, let me just show you. Let me go to webtoons, because we are talking about webtoons and piracy and all that. Because at the end of the day, Webtoons is free, right? You go on Webtoons, put your work out there, and you hope that somebody will like your work, and then that, and then they will like it enough to follow you, and maybe, there are some other things they can do on there. I think people can actually, go to your Discord, get, Patreon and all that, build up a community and stuff, right? Before I go to that, let me just get out of there. I want to show you something while I'm here. Is that Dawn's? No, I always get that wrong. Where's Dawn's Purgatory? Hold on. It's going to come up. Are you there? Damn it. I always get this wrong. I don't know why it's... But hold on. No, that's still. I'll find it in a minute. Let's go to Golden Spoons and I'll look at it. So there's Golden Spoons, right? This is the same TV 16 episode K drama, right? 3.3 million, 71,000 followers, right? Subscribers, sorry, to the channel, right? And now 1 me. So they only put out like 6 episodes because it's like a pilot episode, right? For a TV show to test the waters. So in the Prince and the Pauper, right? 2 boys identical in appearance decide to swap clothes and trade lives. I love that story, Prince and Pauper by Mark Twain. But the prince, unable to adapt Longsboy's old life, and the pauper, anxious about his upcoming coronation, suggests switching back. The 2 return to the original places and live happily ever after. Sorry, I didn't notice that. Tommy doesn't want to build a community. He just wants to do racist things against me. I'm under attack.
Pew pew. Pew.
Yeah, but I'm actually under attack. You're lying, right? My campaign got under attack. Now it's suspended. So
I honestly think you should try go to Fund My Comic. They won't. You can't get.
No, I don't think Luke likes me because I was upset. I might have upset him over the whole Luke stop platforming comics, especially Ethan Ben Skyver. No, I didn't say don't. Actually, I didn't say stop platforming comics yet. I said by platforming Ethan Van Skyver, you're going to ruin your own site because this guy's never going to deliver, and people will then not trust your site, which is what's happened.
Right. But if you can't get anything on a Kickstarter, then where are you going to go, Bob?
Well, but look, the whole idea for me with Kickstarter was, hey guys, help me, grab a book, read it. But I'm going to still save up and pay and print myself.
Yeah. See, Elazabeth agrees with me. Luke doesn't care if you upset CG, or he's pretty chill.
Yeah, but the question is, will people, be enough people to support us on Fund My Comics? Or will people just go, oh yeah, nah, he's that guy, blah blah blah, and that's it. It doesn't matter.
I mean, you could take the previous. Oh, go on.
You saw Kirk last week, right? You saw his attitude last week, right? It's like, oh yeah, but nobody cares anymore because of what CG's done. It's like, fuck. Lunchbox. Hey, Warren.
Yeah.
What's up, mate? Kirk wasn't here and he pissed you off. I was okay with it, but like he sounded like you were really pissed off with him last week.
Oh, Kirk?
Yeah, because he was like, oh, everybody's pissed off at CG, so their wallets are closed. It's like, but we're not CG.
Right. Well, yeah. I was only kind of like, why should we suffer because of what they did?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm the same. Like, dude, our campaign is like this book. Both these books are finished. You know how I can tell you these books are finished? Because we had them on friggin' Webtoon, right? We had our book on Webtoon.
What about Critical Blast?
Oh no, we have a distributor, right? Rise of Sun's got everything sorted. The whole thing about this was that we wanted to put this in front of people and see if we get the support to get the ball rolling, right? Financial ball rolling. Because, you know, I want people to read my book. Buy the friggin' PDF, you know, the digital if you don't want to buy the physical. If you're worried about, if you're worried about the cost of freight, because I also have to. I'm still trying to figure out how to friggin' send 2 packages to America right now, Lesmat. The only way I can get these things out there is through a website, but the website won't accept my friggin' money right now, right? And that's like, and I'm like, it's sitting there. One's ready to go to Minnesota, right? And the other, it's going to cost me $50 New Zealand to send, which is about $40 US, I think. And the other one's like, I got to get the right size, what's called box for it, and then fill it up with stuff so it doesn't get damaged, and then do the same thing. But like, I can't even send the one that's ready to go. So the other, and that's been pissing me off for weeks, right? Because I can't send a package I want to go to. And so this is why I made sure that we are digital, because sometimes that shit happens, right? And you know, like, oh no, my docs someone if I put that on there. Open up the actual postage site. Okay, so the other thing is that our shit is finished. It's all completed. Every piece of art for this thing was completed. And the other thing, you want to see how I could tell you that my art was completed? I actually went and had a T-shirt made up, right? Of my where are you? Thing. Give me 1 second. I actually had a T-shirt made up of that of our where are you? Here we go. Right? Of the artwork that we have for the T-shirt design. For, you know, right here. Where is it? There. So there's 2 different. This is the band one, right? The heavy metal band sort of design one. The logo on the back, and so I did a one-off this, right? So this is the Kickstarter one. So the one I did doesn't have my logo on the. Actually, I'm not showing it, am I? Hold on. My big head's on it. Yeah. So right. So there is the artwork here in my T-shirt design, which is a one-off. I took the logo off, so it's just the wolf on the back, and there's a different design paneled artwork on the back, right? And there was only going to be 5 for 5, so that you could only, as a backer, you knew there was nobody else in the world apart from 5 people who had this T-shirt. This was the exclusive thing that I wanted to do for people. If you bought the entire everything, plus you got a second T-shirt anyway that you could give away to a friend, which one was this one here, the Silvery Moon one, the band T-shirt. It goes born under Silvery Moon on the front with Iwakim's White Werewolf TM design, and then the logo with the name on the back. So and you could buy that in as many as you wanted, whatever sizes you wanted, from small to XXL. But you could basically buy a freaking digital thing for about $7 US, right? $3.50. 70 pages of content, story, art, in 2 digital for $7. And I'm like, seriously? What? Nobody wants to even try? But then also, right, as I mentioned, we actually had our shit on, where are we? Here we go on Webtoons. Which was right here. So for a whole 10 months, almost a year. Oh, that's weird. There we go. Yeah, see, that was weird, man. Like it's changed itself.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, StreamYard just changed itself. And I was like, what just happened there? Pop the screen out all over the place. Yeah, so we have had this out here for 10 months, guys. It's not like we're like, oh, here's a story that out of the blue nobody knows nothing about, right? But back to manhwa, right? So the two return to the original places and live happily after. So there's a Prince and Pauper story, Silver Spoon, right? And so stories and art by HC3. This is a story, very simple. And as we showed you, it's a Disney Plus, whatever, Korean K-drama. 16 episodes. Oh, and there's the whole eating spaghetti. What was that, like noodles things you say? Okay, so I'm going to just switch over to PlungeComics. Lunchbox Warren says, how many people use PlungeComics? You might have to bring an audience into PlungeComics. Kickstarter is a big comic buyer base already, and that's why I'm on Kickstarter, right? That's why I stick with Kickstarter, because it's a big, huge base.
But now you're suspended on Kickstarter, so you see what I'm saying?
Well, I'm going to fight the shit out of it. I'm going to send digital files to them and say, this is my shit. Read it and tell me where I'm wrong. All right? So we will Brigading. Thanks, Warren. Warren says, sorry to hear about your campaign, man. Yeah, I mean, 11 hours before finishing? Shit. Yep. Yeah, so look, they were basically seeing if this is going to work or not. It's a bit, and they got all these people reacting to it on the first, wait, how long is this? Right. Let me go down here. Okay, so came out every Monday. And they put out about 6 episodes. 11,000 love this, right? But here's the comment section. Oof, I kind of feel for the mangaka's family. I mean, it's great that you're following your dream, but your family shouldn't have to suffer for it because of it. So I'm not sure what's going on about that. I love how it says Webtoon rejected the dead, but now this Webtoon isn't rejected. It's like people get reacting with it. But as I mentioned, this then popped off as a friggin', and this isn't the only manga or manhwa, right, Korean, that has become a TV show, right? So all those people who are reading for free allow the creator to be able to sell the product to a studio with Webtoon backing it, because Webtoon has a huge, base as $1 billion frigging company, right? All the contacts in the Korean industry and also, now American, film industry, to actually get a product out and get funding to make a Webtoon that looks so simple, right, drawn, which is why mainly Americans hate comic creators and artists hate manga, but it's too simple. It doesn't look like Marvel or DC. Yeah. It's not about the artwork mainly. It's about people connecting with the story and enjoying it, right? And then because of that reader base, it's now a friggin' 16 episode TV show, giving work to people who would never have had work, right, had this extra income without that first simple story being made by a creator. And this is the industry that webtoons and manga understands that American comics will never understand, despite them, because if they did, they would be making they'll be looking to making every single good arc miniseries that Marvel or DC ever did into a comic book, cartoon, animated movie, animated show, you know, what have you, because they don't understand the audience anymore. All right, Tim, did you hear about the? Let me see if I've got the link here. Did you know that there is a just recently released Punisher movie?
No.
이런 영화는 흑수저야 이 새끼야.
돈 없으면 애.
Hold on, where'd you go? Why didn't you open up that link? Hold on. Went back to that. Give me one sec. Stupid link.
I might have heard something about it. I think it's on Disney Plus, right?
But look at what they're naming it, because they know Disney. They don't want to tie this to Disney, right?
It's like Disney Presents. They can't say.
No. It's a Marvel Television special presentation.
Oh, okay.
It's word salad because they're trying to like make you not see it as a Disney product, right?
Because they got to protect that family-friendly thing. Yeah.
Right. So they can't have someone out here, a vigilante with PTSD, former soldier, you know, with his family killed before his eyes, right? Killing people left, right, and center. And by the way, Punisher was and still is one of my favorite characters.
Oh yeah, he's the shit. You know it.
But what they did with them with the whole, you know, cops are having the Punisher logo, we got to change it. Guess what? And he still got the logo, bitches. Right?
It's iconic.
Because, yeah, it's iconic. You cannot get past it. That is Punisher. I have a character called Red Dot, who also has a skull but doesn't have, you know, with a red dot on it. Yeah. TM in the forehead. And gosh, we put it out, I think a couple of years back as a short story, but I've written an entire comic book series or something, first arc. We just haven't got around to drawing it yet. It's a vigilante story. It's about a Kiwi SAS officer and history in deserts in the, you know, Middle East and all that. And yeah, we just haven't got to it. But yeah, so I saw this. I was like, what do you mean? It's only 51 minutes long. They couldn't even like give it a mini series, like 6 episodes or 3 episodes. You know, I mean, like,
you know,
John,
it's a lot of views.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's already like at 7.6 out of 10, right? But the fact that they say it's a Marvel Television special presentation shows that people do not like Disney, right? They don't like the whole Disney product anymore. That they have to go out this much away from it.
Well, I think it's because of the violence. But the funny thing is, they have Deadpool and Wolverine on Disney Plus.
Exactly right.
I mean, they have everything from like Deadpool shooting Logan through the sides, or you know, the constant jokes about bisexuality.
Yeah,
which are funny. Oh man. Yeah, because it's Deadpool.
Monica Baccarat, man, she's awesome. Yeah, his girlfriend, his wife, girlfriend. But I mean, I would be so excited for this, but like the last decade or so, it's just basically made me jaded towards anything from Disney or Hollywood, bro. I'm just so jaded against it. It's just like, if this was like 10 years ago, and if this was Netflix, I'd be so excited. I couldn't wait to watch it.
I don't mind. Me myself, I have gotten tired of probably equally people who do shows that are revolve around complaining or being outraged by, like Geeks and Gamers. They're complaining about something recently on X, and I just commented. I said, "Oh, I don't care."
Yeah, neither. Like I don't watch shows about people complaining about shit because it's boring.
Well, it's just like they've been doing it for a decade. And go, have you guys ever changed anything by doing it? I mean, okay, you don't like it. You think it sucks. Okay, don't watch it. But, it's the same complaint repeatedly for like ever since Comicsgate started, which is almost a decade. I really just don't care anymore. I'll like what I like. And if you don't like it, well okay.
Yeah. Before talking about that, before I went to bed last night, you know what I was watching?
What?
A fan-made Star Trek movie, which I found way more refreshing and entertaining, right?
Sometimes those are good. Sometimes those are good.
It felt like sitting in front of the TV at the age of 7 or 8 and thinking, wow, people can go into space, and there's all these cool looking ships. There's cool looking ships, there's cool looking costumes and stuff. This is what I watched before I went to bed last night. I mean, early this morning, right? About 5 o'clock this morning. All right.
I mean, that's cool, but the outside definitely look. You could tell the.
It's meant to look this way. This is 67.
Captain on the bridge.
Any contact from the USS Congo or the Starbase?
And these are not professional actors, bro. These are just fans, amateurs.
I can tell.
Yeah, but as you go in, it's the story that grabs you. 2.7 million views for this alone. That's more than a CBS $1 million, I think it was $8 billion they said or something like that, produced Discovery show or something. That's more views than that. This is just a 51-minute film made in 2004, released in 2014. So it took them 10 years to get all the CGI and stuff sorted because it's fans doing it, right? Yeah, shot in 2004. This film was intended to recreate the start of the 1969 TV show, right down to the lighting, rubber-suited aliens, and look of photo-optical illusion effects. They did such a cool job on this, man. Like, seriously, it looks so good. I'm like, where's more? Where's more? There is one more, which is a short of
any of the Star Wars trilogy radio programs are pretty good too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm more visual. Like, I can't handle audio that much. So like I gotta see it.
I know. I mean, imagine being able to visualize it in your head. You can have it be as expensive in your head or as you want.
Yeah. And that's the next stage of that is comic books, right? You can have a friggin' star, like a huge mothership miles long in space, and it's just drawn, right? And then to bring that into animation, that's huge cost. And Space Captain Harlock, right? That sort of battleship. Gosh, I can't remember the rest of the name. But so this is Starship Exeter, Star Trek, right? Searching for a starship in distress, the crew of the starship USS Exeter finds a destroyed starbase and a deepening mystery. Has an enemy species from Captain Garavek's past invented the ultimate weapon, or is the truth even stranger and more deadly? You know, it's really like the story for this is really cool, dude. Like really cool. And I was like, oh, well, yeah, this is me like yesterday, right? So it's 5 a.m., right? 9 hours ago. But after this, I went to sleep at 6. So he goes, yeah, I really enjoyed this movie, right? It took me back to early 1980s rerun weekend airings here in New Zealand. And I only just came, yeah. And like I said, it's better, it's more loyal to Gene Roddenberry's vision, right, than anything Discovery's done in the past decade. Oh, and Giant Freaking Robot did a... Is it Giant Robot? What's the name of that channel? Is it Giant Bad Robot or is it Giant Robot channel? Hold on.
I don't know.
So they just released a oh gosh, Star Trek. Let me see if I can get Star Trek. So they did a short doco, you know, bit on Star Trek and with CBS, and they detailed, right, why and how this friggin' thing failed so bad. Let's call it Giant Robot. Anyway, there are so many loyal fan, right? Fan shows. The Star Trek Continues is a good one. Big Mignogna as Captain Kirk, I think. And so many others. Let me see. Fan. And I'd rather watch, to be honest, bro, I'd rather watch that than anything that CBS has done, right? Look at that. There's people out here who, you know, just for the love of Trek, man, you know, and spent money out of their own pockets, you know, doing Kickstarters, whatever, to build sets, costumes, right? Just friggin' for the love of the, and yet these friggin' companies with billions of dollars in their pockets, right? They can't seem to do justice by Gene. You know, Monsieur Roddenberry. So there's a list of all this. There's 33. I shouldn't say there's all of them, but there's 33 fan films. Short ones, feature films, you know, and so on. But look, The Infinite Chain. I mean, before I was anything fan, I was a Star Trek fan. And that's why, for me, Star Trek means more than Star Wars.
For me, I kind of outgrew that Star Trek in middle school. I just didn't. I mean, I liked the first 6 movies, not the TV shows.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Next Generation?
Yeah, I kind of found them boring. Yeah.
Next Generation, I'm like, what brought me back? I think it was Babylon 5 that brought me back into Star Trek. But like, DS9 was pretty cool. I like Enterprise. I thought it was pretty cool. But anything that CBS has done in the last decade or so has been utter trash. I like about 4-5 episodes in, a season in, I gave up.
I kind of like some more science fiction fantasy, really. Not straight up sci-fi.
Is it Giant Freaking Robot? The channel? Lesbian, do you know? Yeah, it is Giant Freaking Robot. Okay, so here's they did a the Disco Inferno thing. So I watched this yesterday or the day before. Yeah, You got to watch this, bro. This, like, for anybody who's a Star Trek fan and is wondering why and how where it went wrong with CBS, this is the best thing that will set your brain to ease. See, Tim, sometimes when I watch a thing and I go, I don't know what's wrong, but I know something's wrong, right? This is not what it was. This is what I think it is, but I don't know what's wrong. But mentally, my brain's telling me there's something off about this. You know, it's like when you meet someone, you go, well, I don't know if I can trust this person, right? Or what they're saying or their behavior, right? And one of the people that I was right about is these people here, right? Melanie Mack, Chrissy Meyer, and Gary Emily. And just this past couple of weeks, I was so right about them and mentally, right? I just stopped watching them like 3 years ago. I was like, yeah, these guys just don't sound right. But one thing about this really shows you how they destroyed and have no love for Star Trek, right? So there was the only thing that they actually got right was season 3 of Picard. And you know how they rewarded the guy who did well? They fired him. They actually got right, and Alex Kurtzman basically fired him.
Didn't they also cancel the series right after the 3rd season?
Yeah, because he fired the guy who could have taken us back to it, which was Metalis, right? Let me just find him, because he's like, look, he basically made me go back and watch Star Trek, even though I left it after friggin' 40 odd years. I'm 53 now, right? So when I started watching Star Trek when I was 7-8 years old, and it was my escape. So please go check out that, not my escape, but it's what got me thinking about everything, right? Differently. Like that you could actually write stories with weird characters and stuff, and really, step outside of yourself on your weekends, not be so bored, because I grew up in the country, in the rural, rural areas, farmland. So there wasn't much to do at all, like really. So Alex Metalis, right, was the guy who did season 3, and that was it. And look, I even gave it a 10, right? Look at the ratings here. People love that season. Yet, look at season 1 and 2, right? So it started 8, started going 7, 6, right? 8 again, and then it just started falling off, man. So I was going to talk about other stuff today, but we're not really there. But look, season 2 came in strong, because you had to go back and watch it. But look at this. 5, bro. 5 on a Star Trek show. And then, boom, Alex Metalis comes in with the Next Generation, right? I think it's not Alex. I can't remember what his name was. Terry Metalis, right? He comes in and I love 12 Monkeys, by the way. I quite enjoyed that. I watched every single episode of that. There's a 12 Monkeys TV show, right? Dude worked on MacGyver. He comes in, does 5 episodes, rebuilds the show around the original characters, continuation from Star Trek Next Generation. Bring those people in. Everybody jumps on and goes, yeah, let's go. This is what we want. And then they fire him. the guy in charge, which is Alex Kurtzman, because he wants to be the one, right? Every time something's good, Alex Kurtzman shows up with his, little ego and destroys it. Anything to do with the Star Trek. So now they've just, according to Giant Freaking Robot, with this episode, here's the link. They just show that, well, this is how they destroyed Star Trek. And they probably won't be doing any more Star Trek. Just like Disney destroyed Star Wars. The thing with me, Jim, is that if I like a show, I'll go and watch the originals.
I actually kind of like some of the things they did with Star Wars. Some of it. Mandalorian, I like that. And this may, but I also like Book of Boba Fett.
Right. I actually watched that. I watched Mandalorian and Boba Fett, and I thought that was pretty cool. Right. And that was because of the person who made that, like those, had love for those things. And one of the things that's like, you gotta love the friggin' work and do justice by it, And a lot of times Hollywood doesn't understand normal people and the work they actually buy because they just see it as a product to, sell product, right? And to sell adverts, really. And if you want people to, and this is the thing, like I used to be in sales for about 12 years plus. When you give customers what they want, they'll come back to you. They'll tell their friends about you. If you treat them with respect, they'll tell people about you. I had people come in, because I used to do floor tiles, most boring things to sell, right? Things that go on the floor, ceramic tiles on the walls, boring stuff. But, you can be creative with that. You can do such amazing things with tiles, like you look at mosaics and shit. So I would have people come to me and say like, oh, my friend told me to come and see you specifically, right? And that because you helped them with their house, and so we want you to help us out as well. What suggest, here's some ideas that we have, but what do you think is going to work for us? When you're selling like thousands and thousands, maybe $1 million worth of product a year, and your customers are coming to you specifically, you're doing something right. With these guys, when the customer says, we don't like what you're doing, please give us Terry Metalis, and then you fire them, well, you're not really doing justice by your customers, by your viewers, right? Because behind this is the thing about franchises, as we both know, Tim, right? Because you just started doing toys, right? I mean, figurines, is that there is stickers, there is books, there's novels, there's comic books, there's TV shows that gets people employed. So when you destroy a good thing, all these people that were in there don't have a job. They got to look for another job somewhere. You've taken away their job security. If Alex Kurtzman decides to fire Terry Metalis, who brought back the audience that was gone for a decade due to his terrible writing, due to his terrible world building, and using, Star Trek to force his own whatever the fuck he was trying to do, and then drove millions of people away from Star Trek. And then Terry Metalis does this, couple episodes, brings them back all again. You should reward that and fire the guy who's taking away fans. But no, right? They just cancel the show. It's like, well, it's disrespecting your viewers. Because as a fan, I have t-shirts, right? I have posters, I have cards, I have toys, right? I have badges based on this because I've been a fan of it for about 39 years, right? Almost 40 years. Next year will be 40 years that I've been a fan And it was my first franchise love, right? The first thing that actually made me love, you know, space and these characters and these people, the original Star Trek. Because we saw it on reruns here, because when this was showing, I wasn't even born, right? Star Trek, I mean, the original series. So I was watching reruns on a Saturday or Sunday whenever they had it in New Zealand. And that was my first thing ever. And so that's 39 years of a fan, even before comics, man. Before anything, it was Star Trek. And so when you turn away fans and then somebody brings it back, brings the fans back, you reward that guy and you go, here's a show. Do what you want. Let's see if you can, like, you know, let's see if you can bring more fans back in. But man, I just feel like there's such a gap between reality and then Hollywood, right? Oh, you know, the studios and these people who are in charge of these franchises. They don't understand. And I don't want to be another negative Nelly here, right? And that's why I don't talk about this shit on our channel, right? Because I don't like talking negative shit. I like to be positive and, you know, tell you about the shows that I like, you know, and because that's more fun and it makes me happy, you know. That's why we talk about like the latest anime that I watched, or, you know, or that I find interesting. Talking about which, I've gone back to you know, trying to finish up watching One Piece, because I think I was up at 100, oh no, episode 97, and there's like 1,000 to go. So, you know, even just watching, picking up an episode of that, you still straight away you feel like, wow, this is so cool. You know, One Piece, anime, you know, and you're away with the horses. You know, and it's just sad, like how it's where we are with these people not understanding what the customer wants. And that's why, like with my own comic books, I try the darndest not to put any of myself in it, right? Because I think that's just boring as hell, putting your own, you know, I mean, there's always going to be parts and pieces and, you know, things about yourself that might be in there in different characters and such. But like at the end of the day, you just want to give the reader a fun story, maybe thought-provoking, but, you know, whatever, just so they can enjoy, you know, and have a good time with. Then to, you know, give them what you think they should have on purpose, not just because you're creatively going there with the story, but what you think they gotta have. But yeah, I started watching this again, and also Captain Harlock, man. Captain Harlock is freaking awesome. If you've never seen Captain Harlock, I watched the.
I have heard.
Have you seen it?
I have heard of Captain Harlock. Yes.
It's kind of like Star Trek, but not Star Trek. You know, it's been around for so long, dude. It's just, you know, that's 78 years, 10 years after that. Yeah, Colby Mack says Star Trek. Did I miss something there? Oh yeah, my first time. Yeah, exactly. Buck Rogers of Star Wars, bro. BBD. You know, Tweety. It was like, yeah, but when these people like, there's Arcadia of my youth. Like, dude, check out Captain Harlock, man. Space Captain Harlock is freaking amazing. You know, there's like so much there, and it's so good. Look at this list from 78 all the way to like, I think the most recent was like this one here, right? Live CGI. I think I watched this. Yeah, 7 out of 10. 2-hour movie. Let's have a look at this ad. I mean, trailer. Yeah, Colby says I've seen some and he says then Firefly and the reboot. But yeah, I was up at 11 o'clock or something when they had Firefly out here on Friday nights. No, I have Star Trek and Battlestar Galactica. Not Battlestar, sorry. Star Trek and Babylon 5 ships, model ships. Yeah, I'm an old guy too, man. 53 last week. All right, so this is Captain 2013 animated movie, 2-hour long, by the way.
I've been called a criminal, a terrorist, and a threat to the known universe. But everything you've been told is a lie. The truth is, the Gaia Coalition has become Earth's worst enemy. They've taken our freedom, our home, and our future. I am Captain Harlock, and I command the crew of the pirate ship Arcadia. The time has come for all mankind to take a stand.
Now, the other one was Space Battleship Yamamoto, right? So this is Captain Harlock. Let me just put that there.
Over here, we notice Star Blazers.
Yeah, Space Captain. Sorry, Yamamoto. Star Blazers. So I've started watching that. Like, this is like from 1979, and you've got, again, you know, shows all the way up to 2021. So it's only 5 years ago. Let me see, we've got like the most recent. That's 2 hours long. I think, which was it? I was watching Yamamoto Space. No, wait, hold on. Spell it wrong. Put the T there. Wait. Oh no, I got that wrong. It was like get this way. Space Star Blazers. Yeah, Space Battleship Yamamoto. I think it was this one I just saw. Another amazing series, man.
I've never seen Mythica.
I actually watched I think I've seen one or two of them. So these are like two awesome space stuff that you can really enjoy. The most recent one I saw of this was it was actually on YouTube. It was the 2012 one or something. There was like a movie. And it was really cool. It was just like space battle, man. It was like just hardcore, just space battle. Two enemies going at it. Let me see if I can find the. So I can give you, in case you guys want to check it out. the actual. Also, there's a live action, by the way, of Space Battle. So there's let me get you the links here and also the screen change. So it's English dubbed, and you can see the entire movie live action on YouTube. So look at that. It's basically a submarine in space. That's crazy, man. Like a lot of people don't know these things exist because they've never stepped outside of their, their little pop culture franchise, right? But it's just, there's so much great stuff out there. And so that's why I don't like talking about the negative stuff all the time, because there's so much great stuff out there, to be excited about and to watch that has already come out. So you don't have to worry about anything new that you're upset with, right? And he's what, like, the creator of this show is like, how, the mangas is held in such high regard in Japan, right?
Never seen him implode. The target was destroyed.
Yes. Yes. Right. Good job.
Yeah, it's dubbed, so it sounds a bit weird, but like, look at this.
I like the movie Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch was awesome.
I loved it.
And it's made, directed by a New Zealand director, I think. Oh, no. Yes, Sucker Punch by Wachowski's, right? The one with the girl that's in a dream kind of thing, sequences?
Yes, it's in its
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, I love that. That was cool. Something weaving? I think, let me see if I can find it, because that's a great movie.
No damage to the hull, sir.
I don't know why people don't like it, but I thought it was really cool.
Warp was successful.
Emily Browning.
We made history! This is some ship. Re-embarking on prior course.
Kodai.
Yeah, you're right, man. The soundtrack was awesome. I actually think I had it. Yeah. Yes, it definitely was awesome, man. Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why people didn't like it. I thought it was like a great show.
People don't like what's different.
Yeah, like if you, and that is true, right? People don't want to give anything new the chance, and there is that thing that, like, negativity causes drama, right? And so more people go to watch things that, like, or listen to things that cause them to get aggravated or, being anti whatever. But I think there's more fun and joy in watching something really cool, By the way, this dude in the comics is like, he's a dwarf, right? He's so about this height, and he's so cool. He's like a comic relief, but here's just normal size. He's one of the main characters. Yeah. This is like about 3,000 and something. 3,067. I don't know. Okay, didn't know that. Colby Max says they redid the Stooges' old song "Search and Destroy." So this movie, I think it is from 16 years ago. So if you've never seen it, it's on YouTube. Give it a go, right? Check it out. It is, it is in English dubbing, so you can, if you don't like watching subtitles, you can do that, right? but they also have the subtitles there. I like watching if I have the time, right? If I'm able to, if I'm not working, if I'm not trying to multitask, I will watch it in subtitles because it's just something that emotions really vocally can really transcend it if it's in the language that it's originally made in, more than if it's just dubbed over, because sometimes there's bad dubbings, right? There's no emotion in the characters. I think I was watching one recently where the main lead was terrible dubbing, but the supporting guys were really good. So I was kind of bummed out about that. But look at this, man. Running shorties in space.
Yeah, it's cool.
When I was writing, let me just segue here. I have I think there's some art in our Discord on it. Should be. Where is there's a Discord screen. There we go. Okay, so in our Discord, which the link's in the chat, I think I might have to change it because I think they change all the times. So there we go. So we have a series called Robot Nation, right? Which is like an anthology series. And so in this, there's 2 space stories, right? Full color. And it's all finished. I just got to go and put the Portuguese and the Spanish translation versions on top, which I might release them as digital, right? So all the covers, all the cards, stickers, what have you, everything's done. And so here, right, you can see all the artwork's all done. We even got like pinups and posters. So there's like a pull-up poster in the middle. And then recently, an artist, writer, reached out and said, hey, I've got these anthology stories I want to do. I've got a team of people that are interested in, working with me to put my short stories out together, like 8 pages, 12 pages. I said, well, I have a sci-fi, and he's doing sci-fi, right? I said, well, I've got a sci-fi series that I'm doing, that we want to bring out, might fit in there, and let's do that as a series going out. So here you go. This is the first one here. Talking about cards, right? Did all these a couple of years ago. There's an art by I renamed the character. Art by Artex, Edwin Badillo. There's another one that him as a cover. It's kind of like based around the 2001 Space Odyssey. Kobe Mac goes, yeah, we'll give it a watch. I don't mind reading movies, neither, man. That's how most of the anime I get to read, right? I mean, we all read, so it's no difference to what reading subtitles, but sometimes you kind of might miss it. So this is one of the covers. This is, I think this is another
reading. You don't read movies.
Yeah, well, I mean, subtitles. It's at the bottom, right? So this is some of the artwork. It's colored now, but this is because Edwin did the coloring on this. This is like my Italian artist, Francesco Conti. Right. So it's got 2. This one's got 2 short stories. So you can actually go, if you go to our Discord. Let me see if the link's probably been changed again. It's changed again. So here's the link, invite link. If you want to join our Discord, you get to see, as it's being made, right? Talk about my writing and stuff, stories I'm coming up with. This is I mocked up a sword for a demoness. Took her character, how I'm building it up, her background, who she is. Oh yeah, this is the one I was talking about with Angela and Carol Colors, how I made them a character in the book as a demon. I did also make you a character in the book, Tim, but it's for a different book. So this is so I had AI mock up and then I changed it around, changed the hair, changed the thing, and then I said to my artist and go, hey, what do you think? Can you do something?
Right. Which one am I? Where's mine?
Oh, you're not gonna like him.
Oh, come on.
Here's
Show
our
me.
big bad in the Plunge universe, but about 50 years ago. Big bad.
Okay.
70 years ago. 70 years ago. I was just coming across a character. I thought, I don't have anybody with Timothy named in it.
Right, I'm interested. I'm gonna be thinking about that often. I'm like, what do I just
Cool. Yeah. All weekend you're gonna be like, what did he do to me? What does he think of me? Yeah. There's nothing personal about it. Like when I do a character, I just go, oh yeah. But yeah. So also at the moment I'm learning about like the standards of flags because I'm designing flags right now for issue 3 of Zealandia, and we haven't really released issue 2. So here's the flags I designed for each race, and now I'm like going to design the motifs on it. So you guys get to see what I'm doing. Designed a castle for the mermaids, right? Merfolk, we call them, not mermaids. And then this is for my artist to go and like mock up, figure out how he's going to do it in his way, right? Bring it to life. So yeah, so Templeton out, my artist, my colorist yesterday goes, he looks like Josh Brolin. I'm like, no, we actually based him off a Maori, character, Maori actor. Oh yeah, this is you, bro. But not you.
Yeah.
This is the character. This is the character. Timothy Roush. So I'm telling my artists how to change things around, and you probably won't see him for a while because it's an issue 3 of.
So that's the character that's supposed to be based on me, huh?
No, this is the character with your name.
Oh, with my name.
Yeah, I just gave him Timothy as a name. So this is our version of the Nazi, swastika, right? So it's kind of like this character in Britannia, rises to power and such, and about 70 years ago in the Plunge universe. So it's not recent. Okay. You are. Thanks. Cool, man. Don't out yourself on here. I mean, but thank you. Thanks, Colby. But yeah, so I designed that as like a symbol of thing, fascist symbol, so-called. But yeah, this is my original design from maybe about 5 years ago for Templeton. As you can see here, this is actually his tattoo on his back, and then we changed everything around. But you can see, me mocking it up, how it's going to look, and then my artist doing some cool stuff with it. And this is a book about hell, so right now, and heaven and all that, and the early, beginnings of Garden of Eden and the Plunge Universe storyline. This is the actual issue 3? No, issue 2 that I'm actually color flading right now. And this is the cards that just come in. They're going to go and get color flat and get, world building is fun, Cold Max says. It is, man. I love doing this shit. This is my jam. So this is Templeton, Christopher Templeton. This is Placenta. He actually pisses gold. It's a Duke of Hellscape. We call it Hellscape, not Hell. Hell. This is Sangyum, a future love interest for Christopher. This is Lilith. Also, she's got a huge long name. She's like a demon's, like the ruler of Hellscape now. And then, of course, we've just gone through that. But here's the coloring of the pages, right? It's an R18 book. It's a violent supernatural story. This, of course, is all my color flats for the entire first issue. You can see here, sometimes I go in and do the gradients because I want the sky to look a certain way at that certain time. Even the background, sometimes I'll go in like here with a fire and how I want to look a certain way. So I always do that myself when I'm doing the color flatting. The other one I was going to show, yeah, so this is issue 3. And I think it's the opening page of issue 3. Or is it the second? Yeah, it is. Yeah, page 1, issue 3. Right? So we've already started work on issue 3. We haven't really released issue 1 because issue 1 is just getting colored now. Incredible all ages comic book, which I put the link in the chat. You guys can grab that. You know, and get a free. Actually, I'll do it again. And you can get a free copy of the Incredible all ages comic book, which you can read to your kids if you got kids, right? You're welcome to it. So it's a promo version. So let me see. I'll show you what it looks like. Right, that's the cover. It tells you it's a promo version. You know, issue 2 coming soon. All right, full color. All right, that's Incredible. First mention of Red Dot ever, right? Which is that character. My vigilante character that we haven't actually released yet. I think we did him. We put Red Dot out as a we put Red Dot out as a 6-page promotional short story in our magazine that we're releasing, and then COVID hit, right? So this, you can pick up this magazine for just $2.49 American right now with complete stories, man. Right? This has 40 pages and plus a 12-page all ages story for kids. It's a mature, you know, mature stories and stuff. You've also got an H-page short of The Bus, which is by Don Mancha, which is what I was looking for earlier on Kickstarter. Sorry, Webtoons that I couldn't get around to. But also, you know, an early version of the Templeton story Behemoth, which I later changed for, which we will include, by the way, in the Templeton issue 1, extra 11 pages of black and white story. That's kind of like a pretty cool thing. So you got different art in here, artists' work. We put this together in 2019, by the way. It's 64 pages, if I remember right. So you go here, edited and published by me. Articles written by head writer Ayla Miller from New Zealand. So 40 pages of comic book short stories, all complete, by the way, right? They're not like ongoing. I wanted to make sure that these shorts were like, you know, completed. Comic strips, cartoons, art, articles, interviews, and reviews from creatives around the world. It's something to say for everyone. So this was in 2019. We put it up, and then COVID hit, and I put it down. Yeah, so you also got first appearances. You got The Job from Don Mancha, right? And you also got Robot Heart. And you also got the Behemoth short story. First appearances. And also Red Dot is in there as well. So if we actually publish this, this was the first appearances where those, you know, things basically, you know, appeared, right? First appearances of. But we didn't get to publish it because of COVID. So pop in there, you know, it's only $2.50, right? Grab it. I don't talk much about this because I usually forget, you know. But as we're on the way out here, I think that's enough for us for today. Shilling and shit. But do go jump in our Discord. You know, there's links, movie shares, music, man. I can't wait for the Junji Ito series to come out on Netflix. It'll be so cool. Awesome horror manga artist, manga creator, right? Yeah. Comic related live streams, right? Actually, there is. Oh man, this one. Guys, go check this out. This was pretty cool. I'm enjoying this. This one here. Let me see if I can. Wait, did I get rid of it? No. Yeah. So this is like a panel by panel Watchmen friggin' graphic novel thing. Like, check this out. Like, how cool is that?
I couldn't watch the movie. It was just too slow and boring.
I liked it. I actually have the absolute Watchmen hardcover. Right.
I mean, it's a brilliant idea, but at the same time, you watch the movie, it's like, but no, is something going to happen?
Watchmen also broke the comic industry in this of writers and editors and publishers, because they said, well, we all need to we need more of this. And so everybody started destroying the superhero story, right? And now it became about broken characters and all this and all that. And it just became a mess. And then we've had to fall out of that.
There's the opposite, where the characters are too perfect to where they're unrelatable.
Right. So you've got like the latest characters, which are like just full of, whatever that is nothing to do with the character. And then the other side of the coin is deconstruct every single character. It's like, well, it was only meant to be Watchmen doing that. You are still supposed to carry on doing what you're supposed to do. I just feel like it's kind of sad that, everything, like somebody mentioned this on Twitter yesterday as well, I think. And I said, yeah, man, I'm so tired of people watching things deconstruction. Just let me have some fun. Let me enjoy a movie that I can just sit there and just watch and just veg out for a couple of minutes, an hour or so, or 2 hours, whatever long it is. And then I can go back to do my work. And this is why I like anime, man. Like, it helps me, and that's why I like cartoons. It helps me to just zone out and just sit there, and just hang, lie there watching TV, whatever. And I mean, not really TV, but I mean on the screen, right? And then go back and do work. Colby Mac says, I was reading the Nam, G.I. Joe and Sergeant Rock way before Capes. Yeah. Well, my first, like I mentioned the other day on Unhinged Entertainment, where you can actually see the last, what was it like? I was a guest on, right? With Unhinged. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. That's why I couldn't see that. I was like, wait, I'm not like if you signed in. Wait, what? I'll have to sign into this one later. Let me get over to the other one. So, where are we? Here we are. We were looking at that. Yeah. So, I'll put a link down so you can see what I was talking about with our Kickstarter, which has just been closed down due to whatever with flagging. People were flagging, bro. Look at that, 132 views on that. That's so cool, man. Thank you guys who have watched that, and we're watching live. It was cool. So I was on here talking about our comic books the other week, over the weekend. Right, it was so much fun, man. I really enjoyed it. And by the way, I've got Jason Vescombe coming in, and he will be on our stream next week with me and Tim. Right, we'll be here with Jason Vescombe next week, doing our monkey show again, monkey art show. Please go like, subscribe. This. Hit the notify. That's what I mean, because then you won't miss out, right? I'm really looking forward to this one because he does album artwork, right? And I'm like, I'm a metalhead from like 84, 85, and so album art is one of my favorite things, which would grab album art, and the logo would be the two things that I would go and look at before I saw the music, right? Listen to the music, go, ooh, that's pretty cool. Okay, let's go check it out. So do go and do your thing with that one. But also go watch this one here with if you want to learn more about what we about our comic book, world building and all that, whatever, with Plunge Universe. Tim, do you got anything else to say? I think I had a trailer I was going to put on, and then that was it.
Melvin 4 is almost done. I just have to lettering. Going to Retro X in June. There'll be after Melvin 4 is done. There'll be my first ever trade paperback volume, and then we're working on a companion book that has all the subplots that didn't fit the original 4 issues. They'll have their own book.
Okay. Now, I pulled this up earlier, and I just remembered I didn't go through talk about this. So while you guys are all here, thank you for joining us. Let me just quickly go over this. It's Thursday night for you, right? Now, Tim, I didn't even know about this. However, a gentleman on PlungeComics X brought it up, right, on the Twitter. Guys, Japan needs heroes. April 8, 2021. That's 5 years ago, right? And a month.
Right.
501 backers pledged $17,860 to this. Now, I want to tell you how much that in New Zealand, because it's more than that in New Zealand, right? And of course, in America, there's still quite a lot of chump, right? Chump change.
Yeah.
So,
what is that about?
I'll show you in a minute once I get this money thing converted, and I can show you guys, right? Hey, aren't you gonna copy paste? I don't want to copy paste. I think it was 1,700 something, right? So 70,500. Let's just do that. So almost 30K New Zealand, right? That dude raised. That's a car. That's a down payment on a house. Now, this guy even, got a photo taken to promote his book with Stan Lee. And poor Stan Lee should be at home, soaking in the sun at this age, chilling out, maybe putting his rod out into the water, catching the fish, just, sunning it up, retirement. But they kept dragging him out to everything, which I found very disgusting, by the way. I don't treat my own dad that way. And I feel, the fact, we don't treat our parents this way. So seeing somebody treat their elderly icon like this was like disgusting to me. So this is what this comic is. Japan needs heroes, guys. Japan needs heroes. Okay. This is a Kickstarter from 5 years ago. Had 501 backers, played 17.8K, so it was more than what I had down, so it was about 32,000, right? To bring this project to life. Last updated 5 years ago. Comments 948, right? The story. Japan Needs Heroes is a comic book featuring numerous creative talent from both the webcomic and print comic worlds coming together for a common cause. 100% of the profits for this will go to benefit victims affected by the tragedy in Japan. This dude did the whole heartstrings thing, right? This is what grifters do. See, when I sell a comic and when I promote a comic, it's, hey, it's to go towards printing and to my artists, not to me, right? And if I've spent money out of my pocket to pay for something, yeah, maybe later. I don't care, because I've already saved up that money for this, so I don't really need to beg, right? It's like when you go gambling and you have $20 in your pocket and you leave only having spent that much because you know that's how much you will spend. It's like when you go to the movies, you go, oh, I'm going to go see a movie for 20 minutes, for an hour, and here's my $20. You don't go, oh, I shouldn't have spent that later, right? Oh, I needed that. So that's why when I go, well, I spent this much money on producing this comic, I go, well, that's because I saved up that money to produce for that comic. If I can recoup it later, that's okay, but it's not coming out of my grocery bills, right? So, but this guy here is going, this is for tragedy, guys, victims, all that money. This whole $17,000, $30,000+ New Zealand, almost 18,000, was meant to go towards all of it. The book's theme is all about uplifting stories of hope in the face of tragedy. Yeah, got an ideology there, right? Want to save the world, want to lift up people. The funds will go for the printing. Yeah, but you said 100% of the profits. Okay, so that means, so the printing costs, and then everything else will go towards Japan, right? Which is being donated at cost. Okay. How much will it cost, right, to build it? How big is the book? It's even got a foreword by Stan Lee.
Who probably they probably took advantage of when he took the photo.
Yeah. Oh, but there's covers by all these big guys. Benny Powell, Waylon Yang, Wayward Sons Legends, The Hero Business, Flipside, Sore Thumbs, The End, Nordwick, nudity, full frontal nudity, right? Look at all this.
There's nothing more uplifting than full frontal nudity.
Yeah, as a cover art. Hey, I don't, oh, look, Mike Diato, right? Warriors and all this. Avengers, Wonder Woman, Peter David even. I've actually met Peter David. He was all right guy, signed my Star Trek hat. He said, well, but I had nothing with it. So, yeah, but I don't have anything with your name on it. Right? So here, sign my Star Trek hat. Right? Goblins, Terrell Hunt, Tracy Bailey, Rob Haynes. No, due to Kickstarter, please regulations, please understand that this is not a charity fundraiser or a awareness campaign, but you are buying a product. Yeah, but you said up here, 100%. Yeah, 100% of the profits for this book will go to benefit the victims affected by the tragedy in Japan. Was that Fukushima? What? Hold on. So he's also got this thing here. It says the funds will go towards the printing, but victims, what victims? Okay, why don't you actually put it out here so I don't go running around looking for it? This victim, bridging What's this? Japan Society. What are we talking about here? Bridging Beyond Fandom, Japan Society's evolving role. Joshua Walker. He's very Japanese name, don't you think? So this is our story. What? So it's based in New York. So your friggin' money went towards this thing. Maybe, I don't know. It went somewhere because it did not go towards producing the campaign, right? It did not go towards producing, because that's what we'll find out soon, right, guys? We'll just find out soon. And this is what I say. People like these are what's destroying Kickstarter. So there's no art. They're just covers, right? There's no pages. I mean, even in mine, I only put 2 pages up because I don't want to give away too much story. But also, you could go read my, the webcomic, right? And you could go to my Discord and see everything. And come on my, you go on this channel and see us showing you creating the comic book week by week, right? Page by page, right? Doing the t-shirt design, doing the the sticker design, coloring the books. So, but now remember, there's 515 backers who've backed, right? This almost $18,000 campaign with this dude who got a forward by Stan Lee. And he's holding the book in his hand. But, so I want to show you guys some shit, because I didn't know about this until just yesterday. All right. And then I was going to stream about this yesterday, but then I got, I had work to do, I realized. So I had to get that done. So, US, Canada only softcover, right? How much was it? Right? So you got tip jar, $5 PDF, $25 for the softcover. This is all US prices, by the way, guys. So that's $50 New Zealand. That's $70 New Zealand. That's about $100 New Zealand. That's $120 New Zealand, right? And so you look at this, but at the end of it all, let me just go to the rewards thing, what we just did there, right? So, by the way, none of this was made, right? 35 shockers. So, gift cards being sent and answered. This was 5 years ago. Digital editions sent. This person's backers only. And now fulfillment. So you probably thought we forgot about this project 5 years ago. Okay, here we go. All right, you got all this. Benny Powell. Right? So 2016 update. 2015. Let me go right to the bottom so you can see when was the first update. January 2015. So this is a project that's a decade old. Right? It ended in 2021 to close it off, but here. 2 years ago, only backers can post comments. Benny claims on Twitter that this campaign was handled years ago. Really? I never saw a book. Never saw proof of money being donated. 17K, guys. Or 18K. I don't know. I thought that wasn't this is 28. Yeah, when the project said 2015, I thought it was something else. Right? That's my alarm, sorry. So to go pick up something later. So Jared, because it's backers only, so Jared's a backer. 2 years ago he goes, right? Never saw proof of money being donated. Never saw a book. I'm fairly certain the money was never donated. But we, those of us who backed physical product, did receive credit refunds to use at Red Giant Entertainment. So instead of money, right? Instead of money getting refunded, right? Glenn Pro. So Glenn seems to be replying to Jared quite a lot here. So he goes, how are the duped in 2024? Still very angry at Project Phoenix, right? That's 2 years ago, by the way. 3 years ago, still scammed, not just from this individual. I get enough ideation from BS that I don't need to stress on this anymore. Likely last time I'll check. I have been burned on half a dozen Kickstarter projects now. That was 3 years ago, Tim. This guy has been burnt on 6 Kickstarter projects 3 years ago. Do you think this guy's going to back any projects?
Probably not.
This guy goes burnt on 5. 2 successes, Wasteland 2 and Underdog, and 1 successful failure, Tropes versus Women in Video Games, where it was finished but the final product was a joke, and 2 failures, Japan Needs Heroes, the one I'm talking about, and Project Phoenix, with a giant robot credit refund.
Wait, tropes in video games, is that some like feminist frequency crap?
Maybe. Yep. Jared says 3 years ago, how are all my fellow scam victims of 2023? Celine goes, 3 years ago, happy holidays to my fellow scam victims. Pity people can get away with this crime. And here's the thing, Kickstarter. You let people brigade my campaign and you suspended my campaign with finished products ready to print, and you kept it squashed for a whole month. Yet here people are actually scammed out of money because nobody made the product they were paying for. 2022, right? The only mention I found, and by the way, my work is finished on both books. All the artwork's done. All the books are completed, right? Both the Howler and the Tortoise manga. 40 pages of Tortoise, 36 page of full color of the comic book Howler, right? The manga, 40 pages, 36 pages of Howler, full color, right? No clue why he bothered to reset the 2-year clock on legal action by claiming the donation was going to be made. They're not doing it yet again. Michael Rogers, haven't posted in a few years. Just thought I'd drop by and see how the family is doing. We all got on board this leaky raft in the middle of the Pacific 11 and a half years ago. Holy shit, bro. Holy shit. No, Colby, it wasn't 2019. This was 14 and a half years ago. Gonna need to have an in-person reunion event once we hit 20. June 22, still no info on the donation and physical items or the man himself. March 22, 4 years ago. So about that supposed donation, 5 years ago, I'm guessing the target audience for the comics are teenage boys. Ridiculously drawn women seems to be the main theme. I saw nothing worth getting while getting. Wait, I saw nothing worthwhile getting. Yeah. I contacted the Japan Society, but so far no reply. See, even that place that we just went to, right? These people, right? Run by this guy, Joshua Walker, right? Located, by the way, in New York, right? They probably went to build their building. Put all the money, that $17K probably went to pay his wages. Right? All right. This is a site, what they're doing. But are they really doing that? All right. Our story. Visitors. Maybe go and visit them. All right. Hey, where's my 17K? Look. There it is in New York. 333 East 47th Street. Go knock on the door. Go, bro, yo. Where's the guy who said the money was coming to you guys? All right. These are, supposedly these are the people that are part of it. But no. Did I say 14 and a half years ago, or did I say 15 and a half years ago? Where are we? That was 11 and a half back at 3. So 14 and a half years ago, 3 years ago. Or am I wrong? I'm confused now. Yeah, no. Who's good at the next, man? My brain is like not working right now.
Yeah, my brain's kind of.
So, wait. It was 11 and a half then. So it's 3 years ago. So, it is 14 and a half years ago. It's freaking hell. Yeah. So, this is just one campaign, bro. One campaign with this guy named John Powell, who used a aging Stan Lee to write a foreword to promote his book about big, huge, and I've got nothing with that against that, and I'm okay with that, right? Who doesn't like some big jugs, right? Anime, manga book, I could say. It's kind of like a Western manga style, right? Or maybe, it's just probably the cover. But there's no art shown. Right? No covers showing. I bet those people were just told they were going to do, they would, put your name down. Oh, Larry Hama even was going to do a cover. I know Larry. Colby knows Larry because he grew up on G.I. Joe. No of, I should say. Not, I don't know personally, right? Hey, go hit up the Wayward Sons book, because he's part of that. Jenny Powell, right? Go hit them up. Go, hey, where the fuck's my money? Right? Do you think people? Oh no! Wait! He's got another fucking Kickstarter. How the fuck do you start a Kickstarter that's not fulfilled, and and you start another one, and you ran off with $18,000 US, by the way, of people's money? Destination. Absolute Comics is what they're called now. Look, order now. Right? So he changed his name, I guess. Maybe they're not the same people, but it's their freaking site. Look, did you back $12,000? Oh, it's in 2021 again. Did people deliver this? Oh no! Another fucking campaign that they let. But wait, I'm a shithead for like having a finished book, but then somebody can brigade me and get my campaign suspended for like being a hate guy? Fully funded, now everything. But people are going, wait, why not update since February, 5 years ago? Really would like to get my books. Just checking to see if the digital copies were sent out. Not even a digital copy. I haven't seen anything. Not even a digital copy got sent out. Hey, just checking to see if any updates on shipping off from order. Any updates? Lawrence goes, Jerome goes, any updates? David goes, can I get an update on shipping? Dropping number? Thanks. Hello. Edie goes, hello. Info and digital content. Thank you. Michael says, any updates on shipping? Jerome goes, he's a super backer. Super backer, boys. I didn't even know they had those sort of listings on here. Sent an email 5 years ago. Yeah, I was told my order was filled. It was not. Produce an email with a tracking number for me. I never received one from you. Yeah, Wiggle should do this, but like, what the fuck, bro? You guys destroy people who, you brigade against people who actually have products made and ready to go, right? And you guys let these assholes get away with shit. Like, one, right? There's the same people, by the way, who did this, right? And then they put another one. They just keep stealing your money, bro. 130 people lost $12,000 US, 12.2.
Somehow we get lumped together with these fools.
Yeah. 515 to 7.8K.
Never stole anyone's money. Always shipped out books. Never, But somehow Fascist Kirk has lumped us together with people like this.
Yeah.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah. That's why I got pissed off last stream. Like I don't like to be pissed off and angry because I like to come on here and be, like I said, when I come on here, I like to chill, just enjoy what we're doing, talk shit, promote, watch trailers, promote other people's work, have people on. But then we're the ones who get brigaded against, right? I'm the one who's getting brigaded against. Oh, but my books are fucking 100% finished, ready to go, right? You've got, if you've been following our channel, you know that my books are finished because you watch me freaking color flat the damn thing, letter the damn things, have my artists on talk about the pages they've been doing on this channel, right? 100% completed. By the way, I letter my books. I design my books. And sometimes I even color flip my books to save more money. So I don't have to pay somebody else to color flip or design my books. I put it all together myself. Even the freaking letters page, credits page, titles. I design the logos. Everything. Apart from the actual art, because I can't do that. I'm shit at it. So I get somebody else to do that. No, but of course, we're the people who are like these nuts, right? Tim, we're like these people who steal 30K of backers' money in 2 projects. And they pull at your heartstrings. So, oh, we're going to give it to 100% of the profits will go to Japan. Never. And the guys are going, we never saw anything receipts about them going to Japan. Tragedy, right? Oh, through the Japan Society. Well, where is the receipts for that? All $5 pledges or more will include a downloadable version of the comic Biocomicsology. Holy hell, man, bro! At this point, Kickstarter should just do legal action against these people and leave us who are actually doing the work alone, man. And let's put our shit out, because at least we have completed works, right? You got yours on Amazon. You're paying for your own artist to complete your work, right? Out of your own pocket. And my guys are working part-time, full-time, and doing this for the love of it, and then putting our work out there, and then, hoping it'll do well, get them some money, whatever. But no, we're the shitheads out here that needs to be brigaded against. That needs to have their thing suspended for whatever lies that people are, pushing on out there. Such as, this is a book that has inappropriate content, including but not limited to exploited or pornographic content. What the fuck's pornography? Oh, but you got, oh, no further action is required on your part. What, you mean I can't even contest it? Oh, hateful or offensive content. Oh, it's about two lesbian lovers, right? Two lesbian couple who go overseas on a trip, right? So, okay. How is that hateful? Oh, it's also bigot. Intolerance towards marginalized. How the hell do these people get up in the morning and say, well, you know, this is what I'm going to do today? See, even I don't do that, bro. Like, even if you're my worst enemy, I won't go on your campaign and do that to you. Because that's called cancel culture, right? As a creator, I don't care what shit things you create, you're welcome to it because you have your audience obviously for that and you're welcome to it. Because, you know, I'm a person who understands, having owned comic shops, having been a comic book creator since 2007, even though I went away for a long time due to head injury, right? And so on. But as someone who's lived inside comic stores for most of my life, or large percent of it, I understand that people are not going to like the same shit that I like. And I understand that people aren't going to like the same shit. Oh, yeah, that I might like, or they might like, that I might like, you know. That's why I always have different artists and creators, writers, and people come on my, you know, to talk to you on our channel. Like next week, we're going to have Jason Bascom. Great guy, right? Last week, we had Lunchbox Warren, right? Because I want to show you guys different art styles, different writers, different creators. Because I know not everybody's going to be into what I'm into. And not everybody's going to be into, you know, the same shit. But I won't go out and brigade against your shit and leave messages of review brigade and go, oh, this is full of hate, this is this. Motherfucker, you ain't even seen what my book's about yet. Because I've only put out 2 pages. Right? Because I don't want to spoil anything. I put out all the cover art because everything I need to talk about is on our channel here. Right?
Yeah.
Because, you know.
That's just as bad as somebody like saying your book sucks and then reading a book and then reading a campaign from 2 years ago, which is not the book.
Yeah.
They literally go on the campaign page and read it and mock it, even though they've never picked up a copy of your book in the first place.
Yeah. I know, bro. Like, these people are just like brain damaged, and then they think, oh yeah, but they've been the ones who cancel, right? They're getting canceled. They're being hate mobbed. It's like, I knew something weird was fucking going on with this, but I don't know what was going on. But now I know. It was because people were brigading, and, you know, wait, why didn't that work? Didn't want to take my webcam link. Try to get, oh, there it is. Yeah, there's a webcam link. Go read it here, man. However, there are a couple pages they won't allow because of, you know, there were some issues with, like, some, you know, panels because of due to nudity. But this series is rated mature, 18 plus. Please review the content ratings page for more. Right? About to release, once I was going to have a break for a week and then start putting up the page 1 on issue 2 on here. Right? You know, just here, this is why we do this, because we can, you know, you can actually go and see the launch to show you all the pages of work we've done, because it's about promotion. That's why we put our book on here, to show people, you know, what we're going to be releasing, where we're going to be releasing, when we've been releasing, right? Because it allows us to promote elsewhere outside of, you know, YouTube and stuff. You know, showing people the cards I'm working on for this, the stickers, colors, you know, color flats. You can, you know, so you could actually go and read this comic on webtoons and go, well, where's the bigotry in this, right? Where's attacking, marginalized groups? As per what what they were saying against us here, right? Where's the pornography in this? Right? Where's the hateful, offensive content that fails to meet Kickstarter's spirit of inclusivity by promoting discrimination, bigotry, or intolerance towards marginalized groups? Which marginalized groups? Lesbians? Asians? Nobody in this series, right, is treated that way, because I don't treat my characters like shit. Because I, as a creator, I value that amount of research I need to do, because I spend a lot of time researching characters and places and coming up with ideas and concepts, so that what I'm doing, right, is actually makes sense to people when they read it. Like designing a friggin' castle that makes sense, right? So my artist then can go and look at it, researching friggin' flags, rankings of flags, so I know that what I'm when I'm actually designing something, I know it's going to work right, which each one will be and what design I need to put on them. This is like a blank design that I made up. Then I'll go and put on like the wolf's head, like a castle motive, or a griffin that I've got, because one of the human kings rides around on a griffin, right? So, and then my artist will draw it all up and make it look really cool. I haven't got anything in there because everything's on our channel, and it'll go up there soon when we get issue number 2 artwork company. And also, like I mentioned, it's all in our Discord. I think I'll do another link in case the other one got like, what is it called? Yep, it changed again. Oh no, it didn't change this time. Is it like a 24-hour or 5-hour invite? But yeah, come join our Discord, man. Doesn't cost you a cent. All right. And look, excuse me, you can also come and share your artwork, right? Show your artwork in here. Show some cool stuff. Share it. People might like your artwork. Oh, that's our art share, sorry, for artists, but this is an art share for artists, right? Come share artwork. Oh, there is we sharing Red Smite's Lesmet's channel. I think this is bullshit, man. Having people like this take away 30K of backer money. You gotta start somewhere, dude. Like my first I'll show you something. All right. Give me 1 second. Wait, hold on. It's Plunge Answer, right? Because it used to be PlungeComics, but then I defaulted payment on, what the hell is that? Yeah, don't know who that is. And said, there we go. But that's our, and I haven't changed this in 3 years because I'm just like flat out busy, right? So that's our website. But here, this is the first book that I put out, right? And it was Incredible. It's like it's a webcomic, right? So this is, I had somebody else do it, and then I, kind of like change things around a bit. This is what it used to look like in Brigading, right? And this is me using, Manga X. Right, me designing logos on top. So, the reason I'm showing you this is because this is what she looks like now, right? When I actually got somebody to do the artwork. This is James, my artist, James Hill, who is actually working on Templeton, right? Which is this one. Where are we? Yeah, right. So this is his work now, right? This is the cards that he's just done for the issue 1. I got a color flat. I just designed it, but I got a color flat, right? This is issue 2 that I'm color flatting. Get all the illustrations are done, and the research I'm doing for issue 3. All right, that was my mock-up for the character Templeton, Soul Collector, and Hellscape. And this is me researching the beginning of the world, the first, Nephilim and stuff, and saying, working out, because I'm editing script issue number 3. Like I said, this is issue 2. We haven't even released issue 1. I'm color flatting that. Issue 3, I just sent in the main 22 pages of script story to James, and then I got us back up 7 pages something that I got to rewrite and change things on. Then I got to send that in because, let me see, where is this? Hold on, let me open up the first issue of Templeton so I can show you guys what that looks like as a full book. Because I've color flatted everything, it's getting colored now, right? But show you here we go. So the extra pages, because we've got 11 short story in there, so it's like a 40-page book, right? And while that's coming up, I'll carry on. Yeah, it's a 44-page book as a first issue. So it has a 22-page, I think 22 or 29-page main story, and then it's got a backup prequel story, one shot kind of thing. And so this is me researching, right? Of course, and this character named, that I named Timothy after our own, Tim here. So, and like designing, a fashion symbol here to be part of a dress thing instead of like, whatever. Now I don't want to dox Colby, so we'll just pop over here and I'm going to go look at something for a bit. But nowhere can you fucking look at my webtoon for issue 1 of the Tortoise and go, this is like this, racist, hateful, bigot, discriminating, marginalized characters. I mean, people, right? I think it's just, whoever it was that brigaded our campaign, maybe you grow boils on your crutch. And may they fester and fester and fester and cause you grievance for the rest of your life. But then again, I take that back, because whatever I put out into the world, it'll come back to me, and I don't want that. I take it all back. I'm into karma, so I don't want that coming back on me. You guys can do whatever the fuck you want. But look, so this is Templeton, right? Some of the pages aren't here because they, So this is your first issue of Templeton, or my first issue, right? 25 here, but like the first 3 pages of info. So 22 pages, all color flatted. This is just my work, page. And then you've got, a promo page to divide that so you don't think it's the same story, right? So you do promotional page from, the Tortoise. So then you got 11 pages of short story from a different artist, from the original artist who was supposed to work on this way back in 2007, 2000, 10 or 9 before I had my head injury, and forgot everything. So this is a Filipino artist, Armando de la Cruz, who did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 opening story to the series, right? 6-story first issue arc. There's another 6-issue story arc called Black Waters. All right, so now here, we're going to figure out whether we carry on with this or change it, make it back down to 40 or whatever, right? Because the thing about this, what's that one? Oh no, that's Robot Nation. Hold on, there's no point looking at that. But like, promotional work as well, part of that. But it's a full color. Can you open already? Because you're taking too long. There we go. So yeah, so Robot Nation, right, has so many covers, but like I decided to put one of these like as a poster, and then like might actually put a couple more spin up back to back. But some of these covers will now go on to issue 2 and 3, because I realized that I don't want to do that many variant covers anymore. It's just, even though all the artwork's done, sorted, paid for, whatever, it doesn't really, and some of the work was done for free, by the way, because my other artists were like, I want to show my artwork. I want to go with it. Okay, cool. Oh, here's my robot design. Cool. Right. So this is the backup story, Behemoth. It's kind of like a prequel. But here, I think I'm going to get rid of these 4 pages and get rid of this and this, But anyway, we'll see how it goes. This is actually designed by, the cover here, actually, cover art here is actually from Iwaka, who did this, the White Werewolf. And he just said, I got this succubus artwork I did. Do you want to use it for cover? Yeah, why not? Looks pretty cool. Now, let me go to this one. And there it is. It's pretty cool, man. I don't see why you think it's like Colby. I don't think, you're saying, it's pretty rough. Dude, it's better than my shit. Like my artwork, right? Not my shit, but I mean like my artwork. But, our comics are good. But I mean, that's not me doing them, right?
What was that?
But yeah, Colby sent his work. I was going to say, I don't want to dox him, but then I thought, this is pretty cool. Right?
Yeah, what was he talking about? That looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
You should hire him.
I've got enough, bro. And plus, I don't hire anybody. They come through, Rising Sun. And, yeah, so I don't, that's because I don't deal with contracts and stuff. Yeah, he goes, this one's, that's an old one. And just Sharpies. Yeah, felt it. Yeah, see, I can't either, dude. That's why I just don't, yeah, I just don't go. He goes, I can't do sequential. So yeah, he's more like, character design, pinups, that's pretty cool, man. Yeah. Oh yeah, I designed this logo, this here. This, what I call my no vamps icon. I'm going to make stickers out of that, and maybe patches, so people can actually have those patches. Like you could have it on there. See here, it's like it was done for this. Yeah, that's what I like doing. I like doing this design work and logo design. But guys, go. Why isn't this changing now? Well, it was changing automatically before, and now it doesn't want to change automatically. Give me a sec. Yeah, so I mean, like, the thing is that not everybody can do you know, everything that everybody else can do. Like I just know myself to be a good designer, right? Like logo design, character design, uniforms, you know, logo again, you know, everything, like all these characters here, the design, I did, you know, I designed their friggin' logos and the way they look and shit, so they could, you know, so when we get these, it's a 2-page spread here. By the way, links in the chat for this, you can get it for free. Or if you go to our Discord, you can get it from there. All right. Oh, plus we had like, we had, for this one, we offered 2 people to be inserted into it. So one guy basically didn't send me anything after taking it. So all we could do was draw his head onto it in a way that would work. Another one, one of the backers, and by the way, we delivered this a month late, but we delivered this, right? At the time we said we're going to deliver it. I want to show this other character. Where was he? He shows up here somewhere. There's this character here showed up. This guy wanted his character to be in our comic book. He got his character in our comic book. Also, you know, if you look in the back here, the interviews with the guy, actually had one of the guys come on our channel. Right, there's that character there. So he sent us his character and we put him in the comic book. And then YouTuber Braxton all in one chair backer. Right, had him on to talk about his at that time his small channel. I think he's bigger now. Right. Doing the design of the characters. And you know, this is a robot. This is the one I was talking about, like the red dot character early on. That's a skull with the red in it. Let me see if we can go in. Oh, yeah, we can go in. See, I'm not really that smart on these things because I don't use it often. So you can see here, right? The skull kind of symbol logo, but it's got a red in the middle, a red dot in the middle. Yeah. So there's also another series that I'm doing. We've got the first issue done, and then we had guy not continue, which kind of like sucked. So yeah, so that was Alien Alliance. Sorry. Designed the logo, designed everything. So this one like Robot Nation, which I changed that. It's no longer that design. But yeah. Oh, and talking about PJ Shibi, you can actually, let me just show you. I actually have like a 3-panel comic strip that I did a while back. However, because I couldn't come up with any other stories, I actually had a friend do 1 or 2 stories, but I want to do it, but I think I'm going to need somebody else to be a new writer on it, go across and read it all, and then, you know, get an idea of it. I need to do a character. I do have a character, which we'll call it like a Bible of these characters, who they are. So it's about his father and daughter, right? Shibi, PJ, who are anthropomorphic bears, bunnies. There's no cats and dogs in this world, but it's just, you know, it's a social, it's a political, it's a parody, right? Something, whatever they call it, like political satire. That's the word. You know. So do check it out if you're into comic strips, but 3-panel comic strips. Did this way back in 2023 is when we put it up. I think I started it earlier than that, though. Yeah. Oh no, it's 10 or 27. Sorry, I was looking at the thing. I think we did this way early. But yeah, if you're into comic strip, this is where you want to check it out. I mean, go check this out. I just like trying new things and new ways to tell my stories. That's why I do a manga. I was like, well, let's try telling the story through this way, right? The other thing I did was during lockdown, right? I did what I think called two speech bubbles debating. So just using text rather than art to try a story, tell a comic book story type thing, right? You know, so changing the fonts, changing the size of the fonts, the color of the fonts to tell a story. You know, I mean, try to emphasize certain things. So that's why, I'm very protective when people say, well, the comic should be like Marvel and DC, and that's how comic art should look like. It's like, dude, I did a two speech bubbles debating as a comic book. Look, as a comic thing during lockdown in 2020, right? Not only that, I was also, and before I did that one, I had a regular one, right? So before COVID, right? Two speech bubbles debating. And this was done as October type thing. This is 2018, 2021. It's almost a decade ago, dude. You know, so just two panel things with text, and you're thinking like, oh, how does, you know, and people this is why I don't like people putting down, you know, manga, because seriously, like if you can't get your head around that manga is not just comics, it's just another version of comics, right?
It basically means comics.
Yeah. Just like manhwa and manhwa, right?
Yeah.
Indians have been doing comics as well for a long time. There are Indian comics out there. Let me see if I can. Indian comics. I think there was they did some sort of there was one called Sativa Barbie, which was like a kind of like a soft porn, something like that they used to have. So let me show you this one. And they did it as a religious Bhagavad Gita type thing, the Hindu gods and all that. So check this out. This is a book about, you know, come here. There we go. So look, the Indian, yeah, so book about Indian gods, right? In English, by the way. There we go. So yeah, it goes. Shukadeva was Shukadeva was narrating to Parikshit. God, the names. The events following the whatever. You know, he goes, why did he do that? He goes, while Krishna was at blah blah blah, was attacked by Shalva. Why did he do that? Right. So there's no superheroes here, man. You know, I never read these. I didn't even know they existed until I think I did sometime come, you know, part of that. So there's somebody else's. There's Manoj Gupta. That's right, Pratik Mulak. So Nagraj. This was actually, I think I have this somewhere, or I had this somewhere when this came out. Spider-Man India. This was around about 2002, I think it came out. 2004, because I was studying for my film degree when this came out, and where I was, they had a right underneath my our actual campus was the actual comic shop, so you could just go down during lunch break and, you know, grab it. So, you know, they've been doing Indian comics since when? History, 1960s, right? And began in the mid 60s when the leading newspaper, the Times of India, launched Indrajal comics. So let me see what that is about. Let me do a little bit. Oh yeah, was a comic book series in India launched by publisher blah, 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 Bennett Coleman and Co. in 1964. Right. The first 32 issues contained the Phantom, Lee Fox, and thereafter they had other series put out there. So they did probably like Indian versions of these of the Phantom and so on, right? So that the kids there could read it. Let me see if we got any. I think is that it? Yeah. Here it is. Here's some samples of that work, by the way. On this on let me zoom in a bit more so you can see a bit more of it. So I guess they produced these as in Hindi, right, in the native tongue. Yeah, so Times of India. There you go, publishing name here at the bottom there. Sorry. Let me see if there's any parts of series. 28 pages. Did I even do that? No. Wait. How do they sampler? Yes, he's not doing it. All right, let me see if I can do a search back to the beginning. Interior images. They've only got the covers so far. Interior pages. Must try that. Okay, what is the time? Because I have to. Yep. Wait, give me some interior pages, and then we'll finish off here. Set it. Oh, here we go. So eBay. Let me see if they'll show us what we need to see here. Oh yeah. So here's eBay has got some sample interior art for one of the sales. What's up? You're groaning.
Huh?
You're groaning. So it looks like here it was published there, but it wasn't in Hindi. It was just published there. So that's how they got started there, right? There you go. So you can tell it's Indian because it's got an Indian lady in there, right? So it's made for the Indian reader bases there. So these were quite big books by the looks of it. Look at how thick it is. So it's republication. Oh no, wait. 9 covers, 4 without. Wait. Huh. Weird. Okay. Oh, here's some other ones. And that has to run away to the other page. So they did quite a lot of stuff here, man. Like in 1964, right? All right. So we're going to close up here now. Half an hour longer, or actually hour and a half longer than I expected. I expected to go, but and didn't even cover the topic I was supposed to cover today. But the annoyance is that our where is it here? I mean kind of this was supposed to be a closeout stream because even though I didn't expect us to get fulfilled because I knew there was something going on with it, but that we got brigaded against by certain people and had our campaign suspended. And that threw the kibosh to those whole friggin' month of promotion, and today not being able to close out the thing because it got suspended 13 hours ago. It kind of sucks, you know. Thanks, Colby. Thank you for having me here. Yeah, comics are okay. Well, yeah. I actually, Colby, you know how I was talking about like studying, researching issue 3 for Templeton. So with when I had to do that, I had to go back to the beginning because we're talking about angels, demons, right? And we're talking about the beginning of the world. I had to go all the way back to the beginning of the world, got Eden, an our version of Plunge Universe, right? So I talk about Menephilim and stuff, and I actually have cave people at that time, which I call the second man, right? Actually, a dude showing a kid how to draw on the wall cave drawings as a panel. Because, you know, and it kind of comes full circle with you saying that, dude. So let me show you what I mean, the one I'm talking about. So I was researching for this, and I'll close up with this, even though I've been saying that for a while. I will definitely close up with this. Where are you? Where did you go? There it is. So move out of that, go back down to Templeton and bring it up to the screen. Yeah, so when I was researching, because I got to go here and go do this, like, you know, yeah, had to go back to the start. Yeah, back to the beginning, right? So this is for the beginning of the, back to the beginning of the, back where we go back to the start of the human world, Garden of Eden. And so this is like the first man and the second man of the caveman in our universe here. So yeah, thanks, dude. All right, everybody, thank you. Wherever you are, have an awesome day. Be well. Let me give you an invite again in case this has changed to the Discord. Grow with us. Come and check out what we're doing. You know, we're here. Be a part of, you know, be a part of what we're doing and be part of our community. Hang out with us, grow with us, and wherever you are, as always, man. Watch, read things that entertain you.
Exactly.
Things that are fun, that are cool. You don't have to, you know, just concentrate on the negative shit, because at the end of the day, you know, there's so much cool stuff out there that you have never even heard about. Like our comic magazine here, right? That we never got to publish because of COVID, but is available right now, right? It's available right now for you to grab. Actually, that's the wrong. I just lost the ring of it. Yeah, that you can go and check out for $2.50, bro. Full color, 40 pages of comic book story art, cartoons. That finish itself in there. Plus a 12-page kids book, full color. All right, go check it out. Actually, this is my friend's book is going to be published by Mokasha. His first issues that he worked on, and we, you know, talked about with them, which I have, you know, I'm sending a cover, a set to a friend in Minnesota. Hopefully he's not watching this, so it's a surprise. But yeah. But $2.40, man, you're never going to go wrong. And the other one, right, we also have our issue 1. If you did actually, you know, the black and white version of Robot Nation here, you know, which we're going to be putting out in full color, which is colored, by the way, already, but we haven't, you know. And you can get the free version, the promotional version of this, by coming to our Discord or link in the chat. Right, because number 2 is coming out soon. See, showed you guys the art. Oh yeah, this is why we were delayed a month. I think it's on this page. Yeah, this. See those lines here? This is why our printing was delayed. Delivery was delayed by a month because of this line here. The cut-off lines you know, the safe lines, whatever, frame lines. But we delivered it only a month late. Unlike people who, like this guy, which we talked about earlier, if you didn't see, and I'll leave that with that. And thank you, everybody. Goodbye for now. Wherever you are, be well, be safe. Go and ask this guy, where's your $30,000, people, on 2 projects. He actually used an aging Stan Lee to promote his work and made a liar out of Stan Lee.
Disgrace.
What a scumbag.
What a scumbag.
Benny Powell, guys. Benny Powell. And he did it again, by the way. You'll see it early in the stream. Good night. God bless. Whatever. Be well done. Be well. Thank you, Tim.
No problem.
I think we're back tomorrow. I'm not sure for what much ado about nothing stream. And wherever you are, be well. Thank you, Tim. Bye.
Bye.
Catch you on the flip side. Cook it down all. Bye for now. Thank you.
Nope. Can't stay here anymore. I gotta get back. I think this was the spot. Oh Lord, I beseech thee, please return me to my old life. I swear I'll do anything. Like, literally anything. And I won't bother you again, so pretty please bring me back to life.